a fast-acting viral strain. And upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me out my misery!
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we just secured the bag.
But, like, you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be around like my favorite movie. Lifetime. It's so great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
Keep themselves safe.
So, hairline. I have Paul London imitating Aubrey Edwards. You want to watch that video? You want to watch that? It sounds funny. Like, I don't know. Those words strung together sound hilarious to me. So, let's get into this and see if it'll pop us or something.
I popped us already. We're already popped.
Okay, so here on X, formerly known as Twitter, still known as Twitter to many, we have Paul London imitating Aubrey Edwards. And he's here with James here. I don't know who that is. Rene Dupree, shout him out. And Ace Darling. That's a fucking throwback. Ace Darling. I think he did dark matches for like ECW and WWF back in the day, but never really made it. But shout out all you guys. Shout out Paul London. Here is Paul London imitating Aubrey Edwards. Shout out Cafe du Rene Dupree.
Yeah, she's like, you don't recognize me, do you?
Right.
Or something like that. She's like, I'm only one of the most famous referees in professional wrestling. And he was like, oh, I don't really watch WWF anymore. Like, I haven't watched it. It's like, WWE? Please. I wrestle for I'm a referee for AEW. It's the newest shit. If you don't know it, then you need to go check it out.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
And then he was just like,
Ooh, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your host, the infallible, the fanatical, the quite frank, and the frustrated today. Phil Marks. Yes, chat. Yes, we are here. As you can see, Phil Marks bookmarks are in live and in effect. I'm going to plug my stuff real quick. YouTube.com/at prowrestletimes. You already know. YouTube.com/Pro Clips. You already hear. And Patreon.com/Pro Times. I got like 3 videos coming for you next week on Patreon alone. So yeah, and stay on the lookout for I did Hired or Fired last week with the AEW roster. I'm going to do Hired or Fired next week with the WWE roster. So as people file in, make sure you hit that like, yeah. And I hit the wrong sound there, but so don't botch like me and hit the down thumb. Make sure you hit the up thumb. Okay, it's important. Without further ado, though, joining us on the show, huge time this. Oh, sorry, I gotta mute myself on this other end. Okay, so joining us on the show here with some breaking hot news, it is everyone's favorite. It's Hughezy. Hello. Hughezy, what's up, buddy?
Well, I'm not really here. I'm allegedly here.
Yeah, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you guys hit the like button for Hughezy. Make sure you check out his channel, Hughezy Entertainment. And man, you've had some good stuff going on over there, dude. I I saw this video. I saw like, who are these podcasts covering? Like you and Aaron Imholt and that one guy. They're arguing back and forth. I don't know. That is such a legendary clip there, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't know. Just seeing you sit back while they're just want to rip each other's throats out, and Imholt's just, and then like WATP, they cover how he, Imholt just goes on his show and makes up a completely different version of what happened. It was amazing. So I don't know. It's awesome.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I'd more or less taken the year off from doing the podcast. Yeah. And I hope my audio is okay, by the way.
It's great. It's great.
And so I just did that episode, and I knew that the Aussie guy, whose real name is Dean, don't tell anyone, allegedly, was going to ask Aaron about his, podcast, private life stuff, but I had no idea that it was going to turn out the way it did, and it ended up being this enormous, massive success. So I took like 8 months off and came back with the biggest episode it had in about 5 years.
Oh man, yeah, that popped me harder than Mike Tyson's ass last night. I tell you what, man. Did you watch Paul versus Tyson?
No, I watched the build up to it, and it was just, when you and not to be a nerd, but I used to be an editor, and when you watch Mike Tyson's training videos, every shot in his training was like a second to 1.5 seconds long.
Right.
And I'm not saying, I could take Mike Tyson, but when you're showing that little footage of him doing stuff all in one time, it's kind of like, what are they covering up? And we could see that Tyson, he's still the greatest boxer ever, but he's almost 60. He's got sciatica that sometimes puts him in a wheelchair. He's got decades of alcohol, drug abuse, injuries. Like, it was that was a stupid fucking idea for a fight.
Yeah, dude. He fucked Madonna. I mean, it doesn't get more dangerous than that. You know what I mean?
He got Naomi Campbell back when. Well, I don't know why I brought that up. I'd still bang Naomi Campbell.
Oh man. Okay, so oh man, that's funny. So Hughezy, you hit me up. I hit you up actually, and hold on a second. Did you see Mike Tyson's ass? How about that? What was up with that? I mean, that was purposeful. No, Netflix knew what they were doing with that.
Yeah, I think I may be more of a rib on Tyson's fault. But by the way, don't you find it strange that Netflix cancelled Norm Macdonald's show that he had there because he made a joke about special needs children? Yet they just give $20 million to Mike Tyson, who's a literal convicted grape eater, shall we say?
Yep.
And
no, I mean, Yeah, the wheels have turned, man. It seems like after that Tom Brady roast, Netflix is like, oh yeah, we'll give Shane Gillis money and just everyone who's been quote unquote canceled for anything, and here's where we don't give a shit anymore. So I don't know, man. And plus, athletes, they get away with all type of shit. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, they always. John Jones is fighting tonight. I have that UFC on, and currently, and that dude has been caught like shooting guns with homeless people in the desert in the middle of the night and shit like that. He's like hit a pregnant woman with a car and is still main eventing, and they went back to like the old UFC gloves for this guy and everything tonight. They let him get away with everything. So
I won't believe that John Jones is fighting until John Jones is actually in the cage.
In the cage. Yeah, for the love of God, I hope he has a driver all around this city. But yeah, so I hit Hughezy up. I hope that's good Tyson talk. What, you guys want me to break down the fight? Oh yeah, he staggered. The old guy staggered around and Jake Paul wasn't actually trying to knock him out or anything. I don't know. It was terrible. Not that I wanted to see fucking Mike Tyson get KO'd. It was gross. By the end of it, it just felt weird and gross. But anyways, though. So I hit up Hughezy. I'm like, what's up, buddy? And he's like, oh, I have some hot news, as one Conan would say, allegedly. And or maybe not even hot news. Maybe just fantasy mark booking. Who knows? We don't know. But Hughezy, man, what do you got to what do you want to come drop on us today here at PWT?
Well, I get 4 stories, news pieces that I was allegedly told that allegedly happened, allegedly.
Yeah, by an alleged person that we allegedly may or allegedly may not know.
Yeah, $5. So allegedly, here's the first one: is that Ricochet is really unhappy in AEW
already,
and allegedly he's been telling people that everything they promised him when he was coming in, apart from the big money, which means like he's not leaving while he's getting that type of money. Everything they promised him, they didn't do. He was told that allegedly, of course, Ospreay versus Ricochet was to be the main event of what's the name of their big show? All In?
All In, yeah.
That was supposed to main event the 2025 stadium show, and they were going to build that up for a year. They were going to push him as a top guy until then. And instead, he's exactly what he was doing in WWE, and they give away that match for free on TV to a tiny live audience and a very low TV viewership. And his whole thing is like, I could have stayed where I was and been used exactly the same way. So I think he kind of is allegedly feeling that he's been basically lied to.
Yeah. Damn. So that is okay. So he got the money, obviously, because that's what Tony Khan does. He gives you the money. And then basically you're promised some shit. You don't get what you're promised. And either it seems like you make the best of it or you say some shit. Now, Ricochet being vocal seemingly to those backstage, or is he like calling people or talking to people back in the federation or what? What's going on with that? He's just like vocal backstage.
I'd say there's a what's the term? Just say a filthy animal type group backstage who are talking and there's like the thing is though, when you're making that kind of money that you are in AEW, no one is going to leave. Like if they said to you, okay, Phil, we need you to go out there today dressed as a dog, and they're going to feed you out of a bowl, and then you're
going to get on your hands and knees and bark for me, bitch. Yeah.
You'll do it and you'll like it. And you'll be like, oh, well, how much are we getting paid? Oh, $3 million a year? No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I've said it too, man. Money talks.
Yeah. So Ricochet is doing that, and also I just thought I'd mention that he has a video of him jerking off while fingering his own arse.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I wonder if do you think Samantha Irvin, then, if you just had to predict, like, you think she's gonna pop up in AEW? I still say she will, even with that news, because like you and I just said a moment ago, the money talks, and if she can sing and not really be famous and make money or whatever shit she was talking about on Twitter, I think AEW is the place for her. Do you think we still see her show up, or do you think the information you just allegedly provided may allegedly keep her away from Tony Khan?
Oh no, she's definitely coming in. That, like, I don't know if you heard this, but Tony Schiavone just extended his contract to a 5-year, multi-million per year deal.
Yeah.
So if he can get that, and she could easily get at least $1 million to be like Ricochet's own personal announcer. And I wouldn't blame her at all.
No, it makes sense. So okay, well, that's awesome. That was good shit. What else do you want to bring here? Allegedly, what other things are you alleging here on Pro Wrestle Times live show?
Well, everyone's always talking about AEW's profitability and their income and all this type of shit. Well, just recently there was 3 new big signings. MVP Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Yep.
Well, allegedly, their combined salary per year is $10 million.
You what? Jesus.
Yeah, like, it's just this is basically what AEW's become. If you don't get along with Triple H, and that's something else that I'm gonna allegedly mention in another story.
Yes.
You can leave a WWE and go to AEW and get paid at least triple what you were making before.
Mm-hmm.
And it will happen. And they're not like fucking Buddy Murphy is on a multi-million-dollar deal. Brian Cage is on about $1 million a year. It's like, why? Daniel Garcia is getting $1 million a year. How the fuck is he earning this? Deserving it?
Just to keep him away from Triple H, you know. So they're on a combined 10 million. Ricochet, or pardon me, not Ricochet. Will Ospreay is on, what is he getting? Like 8 million over 8 years or something. Maybe I'm way off on the number, but you probably have more insight. Some of these guys, like Okada's coming in for 5 million. So in all honesty, like, Lashley could have probably milked Tony Khan out of more, but it was a whole, like, take us as a package deal. And he went for it, and their combined salaries are 10 million. So you got to think Lashley's getting probably the most of that. And
he was getting $3 million a year in WWE,
right,
which is something in the next report. So he's got to be getting at least $3.5 to $4 million now.
Jesus, man, that's good for him. Yeah. And then he's got way less dates even than he had in WWE, which wasn't a lot of dates. And he's going to basically be able to do whatever he wants. But man, they're putting up some bad numbers, and it's like, is it worth it? I don't think it is. But Tony Khan, for some reason, thinks just spending money is going to keep him in this game. And he's going to have to downsize quick, bro, or this is crazy. Like, so they just threw another 10 million a year at Hurt Business, and I don't know, dude. Dave's already talking shit about profitability. When they get to 250 million objectively at the end of Tony Khan, like, objectively at the end of next year, they're gonna make 250 million. They'll be profitable, and it's just like he just threw another 10 million, and they had like fucking 1,800 people at the last show or whatever. This is one coming up. I don't know, man. That is insane. You had brought up, though, a moment ago about like Triple H and getting along with Triple H. So I've speculated for a while, little X-Files my way, allegedly, that when, Lashley and MVP were talents at the same time as Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and as in the Ruthless Aggression era with DX there, that maybe there was some heat backstage between them as like performers, right? Because at that time, Triple H would have been politicking, learning the ropes from Vince, like basically getting in a position of power. And we know that Lashley and MVP are more Vince guys. And so Benjamin, who knows, right? There's funny stories about Benjamin and Vince. Yeah, tell Shelton Benjamin to listen up or whatever. It's not even Shelton. But that's just a funny story. Either way, they're more Vince guys, right? Triple H doesn't see the value in them. I think there's some like stuff stemming back from when they were all talent in the locker room together that now MVP saying like, yo, it's just a management thing. I don't want to be there if the management is this way. Give us some insight, Hughezy. What's your next report on that, and how does it tie into the last one?
Well, this one sort of ties in that, of course, we just lost the greatest of all time, Baron Corbin.
Yeah, the GOAT, retired Kurt Angle. Okay,
greatest match that's ever existed. I actually stopped watching right after that match because like it's not going to get better than Corbin versus Angle. Well, the real reason why he's gone, allegedly, is that he was one of the Vince McMahon guys. So Corbin was on one of those. If anyone remembers, I was on before talking about Lashley's contract. When you're one of Vince McMahon's guys, you're going to get paid a lot of money. You're going to get a huge chunk of the merchandise sales. You're probably going to get a tour bus personally paid for by WWE. You're going to get a perfect contract. And the fact that with Corbin, he was one of Vince's guys, and he's getting this is episode 69. I want to hear 69 likes before I get to the next story. But so Corbin was getting paid a fortune, and WWE, now that Vince is gone, are basically like, this guy's on maybe a 7-figure contract. Mm-hmm. We are not using him. We have zero plans for him, to the point that he specifically isn't necessary on that type of salary. Uh-huh. So that's why Corbin's gone, and that's why there are other people who are Vince McMahon guys, like allegedly AJ Styles.
Oh, shit.
Who are on these giant contracts, who, despite him being injured right now, may not come back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if they really... we're at a time right now, and this is how crazy it sounds, that what's the guy? Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu are bigger deals than Edge and Chris Jericho.
Right.
So, yeah, like, we've gone through the change of AEW is our competition. To now WWE are basically like, okay, you can stay here if you want, and if you don't want to go, there's somewhere else for you to go, but we're not going to pay people crazy money unless you're absolutely necessary to the company.
Well, so, if you're Baron Corbin, you're a Vince guy. He knows Taylor Swift. Yeah, I might get her on my plane, pal.
No, I don't even think Vince would want to fuck her. She doesn't have a fart box. So
do you think there will be, or sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see either a lot of people restructure their contracts to stick around, or you're going to see a lot more Vince McMahon guys go. Like, I don't know about The Miz or R-Truth. They were both Vince guys, but they seem to be being used, but I don't know how much longer that'll go. Like, Miz is... I'm a Miz fan, but he's been making a lot of money for a long time. Do they really need him?
I mean, if you're asking me, no. Honestly, no. Not at this point anymore. Which is crazy to say, because Miz is, I don't know. You see the value in him though, but what does he do? Transition into a manager? I love Miz. I think he's great. He's a position player. You know, he can do anything you need him to do, and that's the most important thing I think in the wrestling business. But do you think there will be more releases than, I guess you sort of touched on that, but like in your opinion, if Hughezy had to predict, allegedly, will there be more like releases where, I know you just said restructure of deals, but do you think some guys go, like more guys like a Miz go, well, I can go to AEW and get fucking double the money anyways, and my time here is done, cool, I can go there, do whatever I want? Or do you think a guy like Miz would I'm a for lifer in WWE? Like, do you think a Baron Corbin shows up in AEW? I just don't picture it.
Yeah, well, I'd heard that Nakamura was a goner, and then he just turned up last night on So maybe he's restructured his deal or something. I don't know what's going on with Kevin Owens because there's all these rumors of, he's sticking around or he's re-signed or he's in talks with other companies. But I do think that by SummerSlam, there's going to be a very different looking roster, and especially with this Netflix stuff, because WWE's making all this money. That doesn't mean they're going to want to spend it.
Right.
So you may see a shitload more people who are all elite by around WrestleMania time.
And that's like only bad for Tony Khan. Like he's just gonna run his dad's. I mean, they don't give a shit because it's infinite money, but ultimately he's gonna overbloat his roster more than it is. Maybe he can keep parlaying this shit into TV deals, but yeah, I just don't think. I think some of these guys should really seriously look at what Nick Nemeth did, Dolph Ziggler, and consider like, hey, I'm gonna go to TNA instead, and maybe it's way less money, but we could actually do something here because what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. Hughezy, we've talked about it before. If someone gave me $3 million for 3 years and said, hey, fuck off, go home, I would do it too. We all would, but it's.
Yeah, and especially because a lot of these, like Corbin, I'm sure you follow him on social media. He is 2 or 3 very young kids, so I really doubt he's thinking, I've got to get on the indie scene, or I've got to get back to TNA so that WWE will take me back. He's kind of like, okay, I have kids, I've got money, I could do with a little more so that I could live off what I have saved.
Yeah.
Or maybe not go into the savings. So I don't know.
Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, fuck. Good luck trying to get rich off that. But if he gets an AEW contract, say for like $2 million a year for 4 years, that's $8 million to do fuck all. Just pretend to let Tony hug you.
Yeah.
This guy's Tony Khan.
What else you got for us, Hughezy? Was that the last one, or I think you said you had 4 or some shit? What else do you got for us, man?
This is the last one. So apparently there was talks of doing this allegedly at the ECW show, NXT, of Ethan Page versus CM Punk.
Ooh.
And but apparently, as I'm sure everybody knows, Punk was very open about the Saudi shows years ago, calling it blood money. You're likely never going to see Punk at one of those shows, so that's why he's being kept off TV while this is, while the build to that show is on. Right. So that is still a match allegedly they're going to do, but I have heard that they want to save it for a special show. So I don't know if that means Ethan Page is going to be on the fucking Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night's main event, or WWE are going to save that for the next NXT versus AEW head-to-head.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. They should do that. And I read, too, that like apparently Dave Meltzer said that WWE was trying to get the Hammerstein Ballroom, but they were denied of it because it was too close to when AEW was doing their show from the Hammerstein. But I don't know. We can't believe Dave at all. He's literally has zero. You have fucking more credibility. I have more credibility than Dave at this point. Yeah, I fucking, if they try to run the Hammerstein, Punk, Ethan Page, that could be phenomenal. And we were fantasy mark booking on this show, Ethan Page versus Punk. Like, that's how Punk GTSing him is how Page would just go, fuck it, I'm off NXT, I'm going to the main roster to see about this Punk fellow. And but yeah, you're totally right. No one really even talked about that, how Punk was, other than you right now on PWT. No one really, other than maybe on K100, but no one was talking about how Punk wouldn't go to Saudi. And that's why he's off TV. It just, everyone's like, oh, he's filming a horror movie or something, which maybe that aligned. But yeah, I didn't even think about that when he called that shit blood money and stuff before. So great point.
I've heard a rumor or it's gossip or whatever that Punk is going to be the 5th man for the for the cage match thing. I can't remember.
WarGames.
Because of course Heyman will be back. He's a Paul Heyman guy. They teased the Bloodline versus Punk ages ago. Apparently this is going to be WWE's way of gradually teasing Punk versus Reigns down the line. So that could be pretty interesting. But at the same time, I've heard that WWE they've taken it very carefully with Punk because they know he's injury prone. So when you're getting this close to fucking WrestleMania season, they're like, he's not taking any crazy bumps. He's not doing any ladder matches or anything like that. So we'll see. But so basically, WWE has allegedly this big match saved for free TV for when they really need it. And I would guess it's going to happen before the end of the year because they're in January. They're in on Netflix, so they won't need the TV ratings anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that is I'm just thinking it over. It makes so much sense too. He has that crazy Hell in a Cell match, has a bunch of time off, pretty much, comes back healthy, and then he does nothing crazy before WrestleMania, so that because they can't not have him for this Mania again. That can't happen again. People will go nuts. And then him getting Ethan Page over is awesome. Them going head to head against like AEW's hilarious because they were both in AEW and they could have did that in AEW. And I'm surprised Tony Khan hasn't had a fucking meltdown yet. He kind of did. He was clapping back at some AEW or WWE fans rather. Do you want to read it with me, Hughezy, and see what he was talking about?
I'd love to.
Oh, let's do it, man. This is amazing stuff here. So that was, breaking hot news with Hughezy as
allegedly news.
Alleged news. So I bookmarked it somewhere. Phil Marks, bookmarks. It's somewhere in here. Let me think. If I just scroll down, it'll probably be somewhere down here. Tyson's ass. I hope you guys enjoyed that while it was showing before we show his. So a couple things that I found funny. So here's Tony Khan. He responds to, he tweets out, of course, he's like, tonight on TNT Drama, Saturday night AEW Collision, the world premiere of AEW November Rain music video debut. So now Tony's promoting like, we have Guns N' Roses. I leased this song and we made a compilation video like fucking Marks do on YouTube, and we're gonna air it on our episode tonight.
The only thing at the end of this music video, it's Chris Jericho, and the funeral is for his credibility.
It's crazy. So like Axl Rose will give him the rub. It'll be great.
Can you imagine, by the way, how much money he spent to license November Rain?
Well, look at what he's saying. He goes, yes, we will utilize the entire 8-minute and 56 classic track thanks to Guns N' Roses. See you tonight. So on Collision, 10 minutes of their fucking television time is just playing Guns N' Roses with AEW highlights to November Rain. I mean...
And then, you know what's going to happen? They're going to put it up on YouTube. They're going to get hit with a copyright strike. And no one's ever going to see it.
And then we're going to meme it. We're going to meme the shit out of it when that happens. Oh, my God. I hope it's in the AEW actual news, but I can't remember where the fuck I put it. Yeah, never mind. We'll just go into the wide open bookmarks. It's the easier way. But yeah, Tony Khan responds to someone who responds to this. He's like, for those who like boring, laugh, laugh. And then this guy, Tony Khan, responds and goes, Thank you for consistently replying within minutes to every single post I do with hilarious comments like this and then laughing at your own jokes for good measure. It's great. I don't know. What do you make of that? Him clapping back at the haters, Hughezy?
I think that basically Tony has now got to the level where he has a level of who he's going to reply to. Like he's not going to reply to Cornette or Bischoff or anyone. But now he sees this handsome devil from Harvey from Beyond the Script podcast. He's like, oh yeah, well, my father gave me money to buy the rights to November Rain.
Well, whoever he is, he blocked me, brother.
Who do you think? Do you think there's going to be a bit where Tony Khan appears and does the guitar solo outside of an empty?
Like Slash.
Yeah, he comes out. He's called
God.
Piss.
Yeah, he's
by the
already.
way, cheap plug. I went to see Red One last week at the cinema. I went to see it in the IMAX, and I brought in 2 Guinness with me, and I loved it.
Yeah, well, at least if you're pissed, it's tolerable. I hear it's shit. I'm still gonna watch it, but what do you think it is? Like, you enjoyed it? Was it actually shit, or is it like appropriate for kids, or what kind of movie is it? I'm curious.
Well, that's the problem. It's basically it's a Christmas film for a whole new generation of kids. Like, if you've never seen a Christmas film before, you'll love it. But if the problem is, it's older people my age, like I'm 40 next month, who are fucking going, oh, it's crap, seen it all before. And it's like, yes, but we're not the demographic. It's for kids. Right. That being said, it is the fact that it costs $250 million is demented.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. I'll give you guys a fair and honest review of it. And I'll drink two pints myself, and then we'll be on equal playing ground there, and I'll get back to you how I feel about it. But at Awful Wrestling tweeted out Tony's other platform got 666 likes. Dynamite averaged 666K viewers this week. Online AEW fans have an average of 6.66 teeth. Something is up, folks. And yeah, I don't know. They're just like shit ratings. Like, they're dropping allegedly 10 million on just the Hurt Syndicate, and like, they've been, I guess, the top draw. I saw like a breakdown where the top draw, if you will, they're consistently getting the best ratings. But yeah, 666 next year. Bischoff will be right again, and it'll be 500, whatever. Man, Hughezy, what did you make of that whole interview with Conan and Meltzer? You know, Conan got a lot of shit for that. I just thought it was fucking funny. I thought it was funny how you guys sat there for 2 hours while he responded to every hater in the fucking chat. It was a legendary watch for me, because I'm one of these guys who I like internet cringe. You know what I mean? So yeah. So like, what, you were in the middle of that? Give me your thoughts on that whole sitch.
I was so pissed off at Conan. I was, because when we recorded that here, that was at like 7:00 my time, and we would have been done by 9. And I was supposed to be going out that night to meet a lovely lady with big milkers and a lovely fart box. And Conan went from being what was supposed to be a 2-hour interview to a 5-hour recording.
Oh, went nuts, man.
And I was just like, Conan, you cock blocking fuck. But I thought that overall, I loved the fact that Meltzer did it, and I loved the fact that it was great for live streaming. But I just wish that people like Joe and Conan would ask a follow-up question, like Meltzer would say something crazy like Triple H goes, I feel like Triple H is you know, he's with his Dustin Hoffman voice. He's like, oh, I thought Triple H hasn't been booking very smartly lately. And then they don't go, what do you mean, Dave?
Yeah,
they just go over to the next question, and it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah. But even that though, like, I didn't expect Conan to be like, no, you're full of shit, man. Like the IWC does and all that. I didn't expect that. But a little bit of, it's just like if you hear Conan reviewing stuff, even you're like, well, bro, you don't see eye to eye with this at all. Are you gonna give any pushback, or at least just like, question it at all? But what to me was, I didn't even care about the interview. It's like, what do you expect him to ask? You know, Conan's like an older dude, a legend in the biz. What is he gonna beef with Meltzer? He used to read Meltzer and shit back in the day. He's talked about it a bunch. to me, it was just after when he was responding to every hater. Like there was a bunch of people asking like nice shit, and you guys were bringing up like good comments, like, oh, this guy said this nice thing, and Conan would just be like, I don't give a fuck, that's dumb, like, no, fuck that, and then he would just respond to the haters, and it was dude, I watched all like 2.5 hours of that of Hughezy going, well, yeah, it's time. I think we could wrap it up here, Conan. No, we'll fucking do it when I say.
Yeah. No, these guys are being dicks, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was so good. I love it. For internet lore, that was so great.
The thing is, and this is possibly a spoiler because it may not happen, but Conan said that it was possible is that in December maybe that a live stream guest on the show will be Triple H.
Ooh.
Which would be fucking great if that actually does happen. It probably won't because his schedule is insane. But both their schedules are ridiculous. But if they do, people could donate like $5 million saying, Triple H, you're a cunt. And we're not showing it on screen. But the thing is, but when you do that, Conan forgets that there's other comments. See, Conan doesn't really understand YouTube at the minute,
right? Well, you can't expect him to. You know what I mean? It's a generational thing, sort of.
Yes, he doesn't understand that when you live stream, you can literally pick and choose which comments you show. He thinks that's every comment. So then when he's like, "Hey, wait a minute, some guy's calling me a fat bastard." Who's this account? Disco Gilberty says Conan cunt face. Like,
and
who
then,
the hell is that?
So the follow up to it, right? Hughezy is like, Disco links up with. Oh, well, can I just ask you? Like, I mean, you don't even have to talk about it if you don't want to, but like, so Disco was asked to not be on the Meltzer, or he respectfully was like, I'll bow out. Like, how did that go down?
Yeah, well, with Disco, of course, he works, I think it's like 6 days a week, so
yeah,
he likely wasn't going to be on the interview anyway, even if Meltzer was like, oh, I love Disco and Ferro to be there.
He was a draw.
So Disco, the idea was that Disco would ask questions off camera, but then Joe, the producer, blew it immediately because Conan asked the question. Joe goes, "Oh wait, that's Disco's question," and it's like,
yeah, don't do that.
Like of all the times when you don't speak, this was the time. Like he didn't need. He completely blew it. So if you notice, Meltzer was off from that point on.
Right. Like he thought he was gonna get like ambushed, sort of, with like a question or something. He wasn't because he did seem a little edgy and like, oh, I could jump off and leave anytime. And then he did have to go, which I want to ask you about that after. But basically, was it talked about beforehand though? Like Disco's like, I'll just ask questions off camera, but it wasn't like Disco's not allowed to ask things. It's just, you wanted to keep Meltzer as long as possible. I get it. You know what I mean? It's like a wild Pokemon. You don't want a wild Meltzer to flee,
Well, I think Conan was going to pretend they were Patreon questions so that he had that. and Joe blew it, and it's like, Joe, fuck's sake.
Do you think why did he do that? Why did Joe do that? God damn it. Shout out Joe Feeney, by the way, but
yeah.
He just stooged him. Who knows? Anyways, so Meltzer, he hops up. Oh, sorry. So then Disco gets on the air with Conan, and they just completely start, like, Conan just runs them over. I'm not sure if you were part of that broadcast or that stream, but like Conan just sort of like shuts down Disco and is like, what do you want me to ask him? And that was another legendary argument. So we played it on the show, and I don't know. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I was a total mark during the 90s.
Yeah,
so
me
the
too.
fact that Conan and Disco to this day are still feuding and arguing, like, it's fucking hilarious. These guys are like in their 50s and 60s, and they're threatening each other like, hey bro, I'll kick your ass.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you can kick my ass, Conan.
Bro, I love it. It's endless entertainment for me. It's the greatest shit ever, and I love that whole saga. I want to see Meltzer come back. It's all been amazing. But one thing I wanted to ask you though, So when you guys were on the air, Meltzer takes off and he's, all the podcasters are old and out of touch. But Dave, he takes off of his laptop and you're just staring into his living room or whatever. And you take it off screen. Did you or did you not see any freaky shit or any papers fall over or anything of note in Meltzer's house or wherever he was while he left his camera on stream?
Well, I will say this, that with StreamYard, there's a thing that people who may not know about this, it's called local recording, where all streams are saved individually. I have that 5-hour-long Meltzer footage.
Of his living room.
Yeah, and basically when he thought the camera was off, and even though we minimized his screen, it's just there's just like an hour of Meltzer in his element walking around his house.
Oh,
and I may release that as a Christmas video, just Meltzering it up.
Were there any ghosts of Japanese wrestlers past lurking around that spotted?
No, but I am going to go back and listen for some big, loud protein farts.
Okay, yeah.
Or maybe I'll just add them in at editing.
Yeah.
I should do that. Dave Meltzer farts live on air.
Oh, dude. It's funny how he took off and left his camera on, and thank God it was you, Hughezy, because if that was me, I mean, oh my God, I'd be auctioning that footage off, dude. That's hilarious. So here, I think I got some more. Hughezy, how long can you hang out with me today? I know it's like super late where you're at, no?
Yeah, I was actually going to use that fart comment as my chance to sign off, because it's almost midnight here, and I'd like to jerk it a couple of times.
Sounds good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, check out Hughezy's YouTube channel. Follow him at the Hughezy on social media. One of the funniest, most underrated motherfuckers in all of X and YouTube and everything you do. I'm such a fan of, and I love when you pop on here. You're welcome anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, Hughezy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to personally and publicly invite you to, in December, the great Francine is returning to the show. I'd like to invite, of course, Phil to that episode. I'm going to try to get Disco to come on for a Christmas episode, which you're also invited. And I'm also inviting you to a thing I want to do called Marking Around the Christmas Tree. And so far it would be me, you, Duke Gloves Wrestling. I don't know if you know that guy. Oh, yeah, you know that guy.
Yeah, I know Duke.
And maybe somebody else, and it won't be anything like. Well, it'll be Marky, but we'll just be we'll be making fun of the news of the year, not anything particularly serious. And I'll probably be getting fucking drunk during it. So
that sounds good. Me too, and that's what I do best. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Right there, you heard it here on the air. I'm going to be linking up with Hughezy a bunch and talking to Francine, mixing it up with Disco and marking around the Christmas tree and all that. So make sure you check out his channel, check out his socials. Hughezy, dude, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you so much, man. Round of applause for Hughezy.
All right, it speaks in.
We love you, bud. Okay, that was Hughezy, ladies and gentlemen. That's amazing whenever he can pop in and drop some alleged news on us, allegedly. Who knows? Might be true, might be not. You never know. We see how things play out here. So, how we doing, chat? Did you guys like that? That's how we start PWT live show Saturday night. I see like 165, 170 people watching. We're only at 50 likes, so you got to run those up to 100 if you want some more film marks, bookmarks. And yeah, that was awesome. So, what we're going to do here is we are going to review some pro wrestling. We're going to review some SmackDown, okay? And I'm just pulling up the results here. And we're going to do that. But I need you guys to run the likes up. I'm going to check in with chat really quick, right? Because we had to get that section off. And you heard it here first. Yeah, I'm going to be linking up with Disco, Francine, and yeah, just having fun with Hughezy over on his channel over and around the holidays. So yeah, just stay locked in to everything we're doing here. Let me see here. Conan, Evening Rabbit, indubitably. Nice. Yeah, that's not happening. Tony Khan would definitely donate $5 million to call Triple H. Yeah, dude. He called him a bald asshole for free. Exactly. Joe's a restart. We'll call Alan Thomas. I remember that he was having a bad couple of days back then. Bald assholes unite. Disco would beat. Okay, come on. Oh, come on now. That's not very fair. Julius Caesar to go that hard in the paint. Alan Thomas. The thought of Freaky Meltzer magazine scared the hell out of me. A Meltzer in the Wild. Dave's hole is the unforbidden door. Tony Schiavone. Okay, come on. Oh, come on now, Julius Caesar. You're coming in real hot on these wrestling legends tonight. No, that was awesome. That was a great little segment. And yeah, I appreciate the shit out of Hughezy just popping in to drop some hot news on us, some headlines. And as the title indicates, we already went over it, you know. Tony claps back. We got some Meltzer. I think we got a bit of news in every folder. Not an overwhelming amount in anything, just enough in each. Pause. I don't know if that's one. I don't know if it worked there. So yeah, that was fun to have Hughezy on there too, because damn, I was having like a rough day. I'm tired as shit. And yeah, I was just like grumpy, in a grumpy mood, but that cheered me right up. Amazing. So yeah, make sure you hit that like. I'm just kind of milking it a little bit, so you guys run those likes up. We're trying to get to 100, and then I don't ask, but I do want to review some WWE SmackDown. And we talked about it a little bit with Hughezy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna, because it wasn't at 100 likes for Hughezy, I don't even think it hit 69 for Hughezy. We have someone joining us on the show here. Chris, can you guess which one? Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let it get wild! Yay!
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, Plinian, you and me both, brother. You and me both, brother. You know what I mean? You and me both. Why? Because I had to get a Red Bull. That's why. So, yeah, I'm just tired. You know, I'm not even that crusty. Wrestling was amazing. That Paul Tyson fight was complete ass, you know, like literally and figuratively. But, like, I'm not shitting on Mike Tyson at all, you know? He's like an old dude, and the fact he did that was really cool. But, it just felt gross by the end of it. It was like, dude, he's just like stumbling around. He just didn't have it. He could close distance good for like the first couple rounds. And then he just was very sluggish in his counter punching. And then Jake just used his length well. And then he was even flat out asked at the end, like, were you trying to knock him out? And then Jake's like, well, I was trying to hurt him a little bit. And it was like, okay. So he just went in there and like wouldn't KO him. He just respected him too much. And I don't know. Tyson landed the left hook a couple times. He's still able to do it, and Jake ate them because the man's 60. It's not even like, yeah. So that was my assessment of that, and it was disappointing. But the fight before, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor 2, was so incredible, so dramatic, and then the controversial finish at the end was bullshit and left a sour taste in your mouth. So overall, the event, I think, was like an L for them. You know, the Netflix was buffering and all that shit. But that being said, it was a W because so many people tuned in. Everyone's like, oh, they better fix this before Raw. It's like, yeah, no shit. You know, like, God, everyone tweeted that out. They better fix this before WWE. Yeah, that's why this shit happened. You know, like, that's like, I hate to break it to y'all, but 60 million aren't going to tune in for Raw. Right. So that's not going to happen for Raw and shit. And that's why they had this event before they go weekly live all the time. That's why they've done stand-up specials as well, live. They did Joe Rogan live. That came in crystal clear, you know, because 60 million people didn't tune into that shit. So they're working those kinks out with these events. And don't worry, wrestling will be fine. However, Yeah, there better not be like buffering restart type shit. Like, yes, I agree with that notion, but yeah, I just wouldn't worry about it at the same capacity. That being said, though, the production and everything was nice. People are shitting on Morrow. They're like, oh, the other commentators don't get a chance to. Bro, it's Rosie Perez, who's a fucking actress, and it's Roy Jones Jr. And I'm not hating on either of them, but it's like they need Morrow to be colorful like that, you know, in my opinion. Is he the greatest color commentator of all time? No, I'm not in that camp, but he's a great color commentator. And it brings back part of like what made Pride fun and what I don't know. Morrow gets these jobs for a reason. He's not like this guy who just lucks his way into this shit. He is good. And he makes references that like younger people pop at. I know like old 40-year-olds don't. Sorry, old 40-year-old. I'm not shitting on people. This is me being I'm being what's the word? Flagrant for the show. The flagrant fill here, okay? For the show, right? With the vernacular. But you guys like 40 and above, you guys don't get the little rapper puns he makes and shit. Okay, that's because right, the idea is you get people young so that they're with you for a long time. That's what these big ass corporations all try and do. They hook you young so that you're with them forever. And yeah, so that's why he's there. You know, it makes sense. I get it. You might cringe. You know, I'm sorry. It's not for you, not everything. That's why Roy Jones is there. You know, to be like, well, you know, that jab and that left cross is working really well for him. That's why he's there. Rosie Perez is there for women to be like, oh, I know Rosie Perez. I said that. I was like, Rosie Perez is on commentary. And my girl's like, she's like, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, yes, you do 100%. When you hear her voice and see her. And then as soon as she saw her, she said, oh, I know Rosie Perez. Exactly. You know, that's why she's there. Yeah, so they had like Cedric the Entertainer doing like the, you know, he's like on the panel. It's like it was an entertainment, just people they're in business with and shit like that. And then Shaq announced with Gronk he's going to start a show, Shaq versus Gronk, and that was pretty funny. But that women's fight, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, that was amazing. Both of their fights, amazing. And now hopefully Katie Taylor can fight Chantel Cameron and really determine who the GOAT is. But yeah, let's review SmackDown, shall we? We just reviewed one worked card. No, it wasn't worked, though. All the fights were actually pretty solid, but they were whatever. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, we wanted to see Tyson have a real-life Rocky moment, and that's not going to happen. And Jake's never going to seriously fight anyone serious. Like the only guy he did, Tommy Fury, who's at his level experience and is just a guy who boxes all the time or isn't 60 or like they're talking about Jake Paul and Canelo and Conor McGregor. He outweighs them tremendously. He's way bigger than them. And my girl was like, yo, this shit was gross. She's like, because Jake is so much bigger than fucking Tyson. She's like, why is he so much bigger than him? Like, how? And I'm like, they weigh the same. That's what's crazy. They actually weighed like similar, but of course, Jake probably ate a bunch before he got on the scale to like make his weight. He probably came in the ring lighter than that, but yeah, it's just the size discrepancy of the guy. He chooses to fight older wrestlers. So, a 60-year-old man, it's just weird. So the only guy he ever fought that was his age, his level, his physical stature, beat him. So there you go. That's all you really need to know. And it's not even to knock Jake. He should just go to WWE or something, tag with Logan. I think that would work to tie it back to the Graps. You know what I mean? You with me, chat? You with me? I hope that was a good little breakdown of things. So SmackDown. Here's Bleacher Report. Last week, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and the Usos reunited as the OG Bloodline. This week's show saw both teams make plans for the PLE, so they're trying to recruit their fifth dudes. The Machine Guns will take on the Street Profits, and we have women in the main event. So the show kicks off. Cody Rhodes comes out. He's all fired up. He's about, Kevin Owens giving Randy the pile driver. He's calling out Kevin Owens, and Nick Aldis comes out, and the crowd kind of hot at Nick Aldis. Like, bro, You coming out here making excuses again for everybody. And so, you know, Nick Aldis, he's like, I understand. And Cody's like, I understand you because you were a wrestler. You still are a wrestler. A little tease there. You know, we might get some wrestle action between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce down the line, which could be cool. And yeah, so basically Rhodes cuts like a really impassioned and really good promo, especially for him lately on this run. And he got out of Dodge. So commercial break, Bailey, B-Fab, and Candice LeRae fighting for a spot in the semifinals of this United States tournament. It's all SmackDown competitors, so Raw's going to have their own women's mid-card title, probably IC title. So Bailey, B-Fab, and Candice, it's like a triple threat, and Bailey gets the win, obviously. Later in the show, in case I skip over it, LeRae like joins up with Tiffy and Nia. Like, that's a faction. So they got rid of Indy. As Hughezy talked about before, you're going to see some of these people, I guess, laid off a little bit. Not saying Indy was a Vince girl. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're going to see, it won't be like big cuts like Vince would do ruthlessly, where it's like 20 people at once. Get rid of them all. Flush the evidence, pal. But I think it's going to be in like threes and shit, you know, twos, you know, 3 names, things like that, instead of like 20, a massacre day, you know? So, yeah, Aldis said the pile driver, man, they really got the pile driver thing over. He's like, because we want to be able to wrestle longer than, you know, 20 years or whatever. And it just fucking gets moves over, bro. That's how you get moves over, chat. AEW, Kyle Fletcher. No, just joking. I don't mean to call him out, but that's how you get moves over, right? You protect them. You don't overdo them so that they're fucking buried to death and they mean nothing. You protect them. And then they mean more, and then the story's hot, and then people want to come to the arena, and then people pop for the pile driver, and then people are, oh shit. Yeah, I don't know how people don't understand that. It's like what makes the tombstone or the RKO or even the one-winged angel. Like, one guy understands it in AEW, it's Kenny Omega. And even that move, like, he'll get hit with it, then kick out of it, but when he hits someone with it, they can't escape it, you know? What does he say? You cannot escape. When he does the flip, he's got to cut that shit out. But yeah, you got to protect the finish, man. And how do you protect the finish? Well, it's not just, once you hit the finish, it's done. It's not just that. It's like, don't hit moves that look cooler or undermine your finish before the finish as well. Does Chad understand what I'm saying? I think people should understand what I'm saying. I think the masses understand what I'm saying by that. And that's why WWE's white hot. They're protecting goddamn finishers such as the BFT. So LA Knight versus Berto. Now, I believe, like, I'll just read Bleacher here. After Mia Yim held B-Fab to tell off Chelsea Green and Niven, yeah, they're like, you know, you guys are going to split up eventually. Like, this tournament, there can only be one winner. You know, I think Chelsea and Niven do split up sooner or later. Santos Escobar comes out looking to challenge LA Knight. Yeah, who's cutting a pretty good promo. He cuts a pretty goddamn good promo, Chad. I don't know if you realize that. But, like, we need Ethan Page on SmackDown now. What? Like, that'll only, like, him versus LA Knight. That's the program to run, right? Am I wrong on that, chat? Who else does he have? I would have loved, like, Mike Bailey. We'll talk about it in a bit. Apparently he's going to AEW. Like, he could have came in. I'm not saying shoehorn him to the main roster, but I don't know. You have access to Hammerstone and all these guys. I'm not shitting on Escobar. I know he's a dude that you've invested in for a while. And you don't just want, like, oh, here's LWO and here's evil LWO, basically, with Legato. But this feud ain't it. And I'm not shitting on either of these. You guys know I love LA Knight, but they need an opponent for him badly. They need And look, no one's going to freak out and be like, oh, come on now, Phil, on X or anything. No one's going to be like, oh, you're a fucking WWE hater for me saying this, by the way. And I'm being critical of my guy, LA Knight. Yeah. But not even him. I'm not even critical of him. But this storyline is like, bruv, we got to get Orton and LA Knight feuding. We got to get someone from Raw over here feuding. They fucked up with Vinci. I'm not saying Vinci's going to beat him or anything, but they could have built Vinci up to be like a dude. Where's Obafemi at? Apparently he's being called up soon. I pray to God, man. Where's I mean, I say Micah Bailey. I know a lot of you would be like, no, he needs NXT, which, okay, I won't argue that. But it's like, we need someone, you guys. We need someone. Okay, Ray Phoenix isn't allowed to leave AEW. Bring Penta in and have him have a solo run against LA Knight first. Maybe that's going too far. Maybe that's too Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. But we need someone who knows how to get heat. Penta knows how to get heat. We need someone to really get hot and fucking go against the LA Knight, who's so over as a babyface. Like if Jacob, Tama, now Bronson's in we're going to talk about that, which, oh my God, amazing. But if we're going to have everyone be tied up in stories, bro, we need someone for LA Knight. He cannot be fighting the cruiserweight division, Santos and Mello and all that, bro. And I get it. He's white hot. It hasn't gone anywhere. But we're getting into WrestleMania season, Daddy. We need something to sink our teeth into with LA Knight, or I fear that shit could taper off. Although he's just so over because of his catchphrases and shit. People want to love him. So let me love you. Let me love you. Oh, na. No, but for real. Like, let us love him. Let us love him more. Let us explode all over LA Knight, right? And we do that, pause, no Diddy, right? And we do that by, you got to give us like something, man. Someone for Nakamura, I guess, attacked him, right? And that's what we're going to talk about now. Hughezy was, and then after Nakamura, what happens though? Like, is Nakamura does he get the belt off LA Knight? Then they go on and feud more? Okay, I'm down if they can make this really compelling. But to me, I fear Nakamura is just a guy for him to beat after like a month or so. Now, I trust WWE and their goddamn booking. And maybe they're rewarding Nakamura, but Nakamura wins the U.S. title, okay. And then they hot potato it a bit, or, you know, Nakamura's up in age, so is LA Knight. Who are we investing in? There's got to be someone who's like next, who's like really hot. Like, get your hands on Alex Hammerstone. Get your hands on that Jake something guy. And, you know, just say like TNA, what'll it cost? And just, or Obafemi, I guess, too, could be the next up. But all I'm saying, Nakamura's hopefully the guy to do it. Okay. And you know how big of a Nakamura fan I am. And basically what happens is, I just skipped over a bunch there, but Berto gets challenged by Knight, and then Nakamura comes out, attacks Knight, and Berto, shout him out. I love Los Garza. That's what they're called now, right? I love them. They can do babyface or heel shit, and they got a look about them. They're serious. They have size for like luchadors, I guess. Maybe not Garza, but Berto does. And they're legit like second or third generation superstars, if you will. So whatever, decent match. He can sell his ass off. He's just there to help get LA Knight over. I'm okay with that. But Nakamura now, he comes out looking like a Naruto character. I love it. A different look. Now, if what Hughezy said is true, maybe this is WWE allegedly, right? We don't know if like what he's hearing is even right. But allegedly, you know, Nakamura, let's say he did like renegotiate his deal and is like, hey, we're going to maybe get paid a little less. I do want to wrestle more, or whatever the deal is, whatever the renegotiation was. And maybe that this is their reward to him. Like, okay, yeah, you're going to go and feud with LA Knight. He needs someone anyways. Now, like, wasn't Nakamura on Raw as well? So, like, does the brand split matter? Are they going to keep the brand split in place? Who cares about the Crown Jewel Gunther versus Cody match if they don't even split up the brands? Anyways, I hope Raw in the new year means like a hard draft, a hard brand split. I do hope that, but I'm all down for Nakamura and LA Knight. Although I love both these guys, if they do this correctly, you could get like a Drew Punk thing out of this, where both guys come out stronger, regardless of who comes out like the victor. You know what I mean? In all of this, hey Victor, hey Thomas. So yeah, and then turning down Zayn's offer to be in WarGames. Yeah, so they're looking for the fifth man. Now we're going to debate the whole fifth man shit at the end of this. I'll actually put a poll in the chat right now as I bring onto the show who has been patiently waiting for a track to explode on. It is the one and only, Jake is here, ladies and gentlemen. Jake, what's up?
Yo. How you doing, my friend?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm well, man. You and Hughezy doing the dueling Tony Khan had me cracking up earlier. That was great. It's
funny because like I want to do his to him, but it's like mine has to evolve to that over time. You know?
It's a great bit. It's a great. You guys need to do a bit together, and somebody needs to animate that. Like you could be Tony before when he first got started, and still like was clean shaven and looked like ready to go, and then Tony now just.
I'm Tony with his glasses on.
Yeah.
So guys, 76 likes. There's 180. I saw 188 or 190 across both channels. Guys, run the goddamn likes up to 100, man. What are we doing here, B?
What?
Get him up to 100, please and thank you. Before this, before this review is done for all Jake.
You fucking mark.
Okay, so haters gonna hate, man. What can you do?
So
I was talking about SmackDown. I was talking about basically LA Knight and how he needs opponents, and how I was going to put a poll in the chat. And as they run the likes up here, I'm going to start a poll about who is going to be the fifth man. Who is the fifth man for the Bloodline? Chat's going to let me know. We're going to talk about, I'll get your prediction in a minute here, all Jake. But yeah, I just want to throw this up in the chat for the OG Bloodline, by the way, because we know who the fifth man is for the Floodline. And I see people calling it the Floodline on X and shit now, which is amazing. Like, I love that so much. So we will put a emoji in there. And there's a few options. So we have Seth Franklin Rollins, right? That's one option. We have right. We have who else do we got? We have CM Punk is one name everyone's throwing out there. A large poll, the largest poll ever in the chat. Pause chat. Who else? We could maybe get a Lance Anoa'i, who is signed to and I believe I'm spelling this correctly as well. Anoa'i, who is signed to NXT, folks. So, and I apologize if I didn't spell that correctly. I believe I did though. Poll in the chat. You guys vote. Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, or Lance Anoa'i. Who do you think is the fifth man for the OG Bloodline as we continue this review? So, Motor City Machine Guns took on the Street Profits. Now, I tweeted out, and I didn't know if this was pre-taped or not. I was like, yo, we see Dawkins attack Ford like out of nowhere after they barely lose the match or whatever. And totally just forgetting the fact that, oh yeah, Ciampa's been doing that already with DIY. So I completely ducked out, and Ciampa like turns heel. Well, they say turn heel, but he like pushed Gargano, but I don't think that's what's fully going to happen. I think they're trying to swerve everyone, and they have everyone thinking that Gargano is like going to be feuding with Ciampa, but that's not what's going to happen. I think Gargano is going to join Ciampa and like be evil with him against the Machine Guns, and we're going to get like hot heel DIY who are willing to like do whatever it takes, you know, outside the ring, career-ending DDTs and all that shit Gargano was doing in NXT and that, and we'll get Machine Guns really feuding, and then you can break the Street Profits up or keep them together because you need another babyface team, but they can't just be the underneath team, man. They got to break up. I think it's time, and I think you get Dawkins as the bad guy, and because everyone expects Ford, I think, to be that guy who turns heel. So I think you get Dawkins to actually go heel and be like and then I don't know if you have him beat Montez. You could have Montez overcome him, but then I don't know. You got Dawkins as a heel on the show. Maybe I'm off on that, but I just don't see like Montez right now being turned heel and getting a monster run. Or like one of them's got to be built up, or both of them to be a threat for this U.S. title if they're going to stay on SmackDown or whatever. I don't know. We're fantasy mark booking here, but yeah, Ciampa sort of turns
I think that's
on
the big story, is that they're making you think that Ciampa is going to turn on Gargano and do that whole NXT storyline, which they can do eventually. But I think it's better now to have Johnny turn with him and then have banger matches with the Machine Guns. That'll be fun.
And a hot heel team. Like that's what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the Floodline come out. It's a big brawl. Amazing shit, dude. I don't even know what to say.
That was fun.
There's just this crazy ass brawl going down. You know, we see the Usos and the GODs throwing down back and forth. Amazing shit. We see Zayn about to get hit for a spike. Roman Spears solo. Zayn and Roman are on the same page. The Bloodline United are super strong. And then basically it happens, man. A big, giant Samoan motherfucker comes out of nowhere. And we all should have seen it, because if you think about it, WWE can just pitch Bronson Reed as like, bro, he's a Samoan. Like they could just call him, this is their boy, you know, like he don't even got to be related, or they could say he's a distant cousin or whatever they want to say. But he is of Samoan descendants, and it's like, he's a guy that Reed went from like having triple threats with like Akira Tozawa and Ricochet and Nakamura and shit every week, and we were like, who cares? And then he turns into this guy who's just can't miss him and Braun Strowman, and then him and Seth. Is like Bronson comes on TV and you're like, oh shit, like shit's gonna explode, shit's gonna go crazy. And now he shows up on SmackDown, decimates Roman Reigns, aligns with the Floodline, so much so that he hugs each member individually after the carnage is done. Which, what a brawl, what a fucking, Jacob does a moonsault, Bronson does the tsunami, and then he fucking goes outside the ring, and you can hear it on the mic, you can hear it on the cam or whatever. He says it to a fan in the audience, and I tweeted out. Bronson goes, "No, I'm with Solo. I'm with Solo, like whatever." And then he gets in formation and he throws the ones up. He's literally just in the Floodline going,
right?
Fucking incredible, awesome. Bro. They just took Bronson and went like, "Oh, you're getting invested in him now, are we? Like, wait till you see what we do with him next, right?" And they could say distant relative. They could say, "Oh, he's just our boy. Like, we just called him. We called him up. You know what I mean? We're all Samoans, bro. We're connected. Like, we just called our boy up." Like, it could just be that simple is the story. He doesn't need to be kayfabe. Oh, Undertaker and Kane are brothers. Kane, right. You know, it doesn't have to be that. It can just be like, no, that's our dude, man. We fucking called him up. Like, whatever, dude. And
what are you going to say about it?
Yeah, and exactly. And they established that he's a dude who will just show up and destroy shit. And he's sort of a dude who's like a for hire, like Miz not that long ago was like, "Hey, I'm going to get you to fuck people up for me," you know? He's like a for hire hitman kind of dude, and they can just go, "This is our boy. What did you think, bro? Also, we're Samoans, bro. Like, what do you think?" And I just love that shit so much. And now we have like all out Samoan warfare. Pray to God Samoan Joseph shows up.
Oh God,
and fucking that would be amazing. Him too. Like now we're just bringing Samoans in. Let's go. But pretty much that's solidified. Okay,
so
the fifth man will be Seth Rollins. I mean,
Probably.
if we're writing stories here, folks, that's what I do. I mean, it's Seth Rollins. So not to be a fucking nerd as Hughezy would put it, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So that whole segment though was like an A++. Everyone, as soon as Reed comes out too, because like already the Bloodline come out, it's like security pour out, all this comes out, and they want to break shit up. But more so like on Raw too, we see it like when Reed is out there, like it's high alert. You know, they're on red alert for this dude. So he comes out, starts destroying Roman, and it was just crazy. Just all the people out there breaking shit up and just how they make it feel real. I don't know. I love it. And then him joining the Bloodline. Ooh,
chaos.
dude, I know some people don't like it. I'm going to check in with Chad after this review. And I know a lot of you guys are like, no, it's too much and all that. But it's not, man. It makes so much goddamn sense. And it makes more sense than like Zilla and Hikuleo right now. Or maybe not. Maybe you might argue, well, no, they just brought the Tongans in, blah, blah, blah. But to me, goddamn it, like Seth and Roman are family. That's the fucking thing you all got to remember. Like from the Shield days going back, you know, they've always considered, like when Roman announced the leukemia thing, Rollins helped him. Yeah, now I know like Rollins also like fucked Roman in the Mania, but that's what families do, man. They fight, they love, they fight the hardest, they love the hardest. It's just all a part of like this whole tale that's being told, and I love it. Now, the fact that we have such a big, giant, humongous poll in the chat, the fact we're able to do that, and we have people debating, like, no, it could be another Samoan. No, it could be fucking Punk. It could be Lesnar. It could be Rollins. Oh, what a great position WWE's in. And also, like, it could be Paul Heyman himself. And then when he shows up, it's like a double swerver. They're like, here's our, like, I Fantasy Mark book this segment happening. They're like, here's our fifth man. Paul comes out. And then everyone's like, oh, Paul's your fifth member. And they're kind of laughing. And then he goes, it's actually Seth freaking Rollins or Brock Lesnar or fucking CM Punk, whoever they go with.
Right.
You know, but I don't think it'll be Punk because of what Hughezy said earlier in the show. They have to keep Punk healthy. Yes, he had that one. The strap match wasn't that crazy. It was crazy storytelling. They didn't go. It was crazy because they got some color. It wasn't like the craziest bumps of all time. The Hell in a Cell was like, okay, we're fingers crossed Punk doesn't get hurt. He got hurt in the fucking Rumble, dude. So it's like this Rumble, we're praying he doesn't get hurt. And we're praying he makes it to Mania again without getting hurt, right? So he's not going to be in WarGames. Now, I know I'm the same guy who's like, well, The Rock could be in WarGames and he doesn't have to bump. Look, they protected Randy in the last WarGames. Yes, but with Punk, it's like you just don't risk anything. You know what I mean? Just don't do it, goddamn it. Don't put Punk in this thing. It doesn't even make sense for it to be Punk. It's Rollins. It has to be Rollins. Also, if The Rock shows up at the end, it makes sense it's Rollins because, as I pointed out tirelessly on this show, you know, Rollins was in that tag match at Mania. Like, he's going to be involved with The Rock and shit. I could see them fighting in a number one contender match and fucking Rock beating Rollins or something like that. I don't know. I could just see him fucking with Rollins because he didn't like him. He's calling him a goof, all of that stuff. And he's like, yeah, don't like Rock said it. He's like, we're going to tangle up later too, basically. Anyways, though, Kevin Owens cuts a promo from his car and he keeps doing this. And it is what it is, man. He's hot. We're getting him and Cody. Jay tells Roman they need to make a call to someone, but didn't reveal who it was. The fireworks for Machine Gun's entrance should be quicker and louder. Okay, that's just this guy's criticism here that I'm reading off Bleacher Report. I disagree. I think they have the best entrance right now. It's one of the coolest entrances in WWE for sure. I don't like how it's like raise your fists and all that. It's like, no, don't tell the people what to do. Let them, like the Nakamura. When people invent what to do, it's the best. When you tell us what to do, we don't like that. But anyways, don't tell me what to do.
Just thinking of the CEO chants as the prime example.
So
Yeah.
Nia and Naomi, speaking of Bloodline, the Lady Bloodlines here threw down in a decent match, man. And Nia defeats Naomi, and they do this little unification of this faction, I guess, Tiffy with Candice. So she's just with them. And yeah, decent match for sure. The Bloodline stuff stood out the most. I'm not sure why they didn't end the show with that. Maybe because people would cry online and they wanted to go, well, they kind of did. I mean,
I think it was a double taping, and they probably wanted to do. I think it was because they probably did Bloodline to lead off the second taping. I don't know. I didn't read any spoilers.
Well, shout out like fucking WWE IWC, because like I got no spoilers. Like I avoid them entirely. Like
yeah, I did the same with Raw last time. I didn't see anything.
Me too. So like they're doing a good job in the WWE IWC of like not spoiling shit for everyone else, which is great. I love that. It's great.
Because there's no clout in spoiling, but I guess when you were followers of Dave and Fightful, that's all they do is spoil. So yeah, I guess it makes a difference.
Spoiling is how we make a living over here. The best guys, don't you know? So yeah, I'm gonna check it.
I love the show. It was great.
It was amazing. It was better than the Tyson Paul fight, that's for sure.
Oh God,
so.
Yeah, I think you're right too. I think it'll definitely be Rollins, unless Reed, as a gesture to the Bloodline, takes Rollins out on a Raw, and then it could be Heyman bringing in, I would think, Brock if it was anybody, but I don't think that'll happen.
Now, I like what you just said there, right? So, we forgot to mention too, to close out the show, Roman calls someone on his phone, and there's this big debate I don't know how this is even a fucking debate by people, right? So they're like, oh, Paul Heyman, like his phone's disconnected, or did he no, he got a new number, and there's all these different explanations, and it's like, you guys, he blocked Roman Reigns' number, so when Roman calls him, it says it's out of service. Jesus fucking Christ, how does nobody understand this? I don't get it. It's clearly what that means. Like, the number's blocked, so he calls it. It says it's disconnected, but it's not disconnected for other people who've had to call Paul Heyman in that. So I like what you just said. Reed takes out Rollins, and he's injured, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And then at WarGames, they pull is Randy here? Paul Heyman comes out, and then it's Brock Lesnar.
I can see that. That's the only way I see it.
Boy, would that place fucking explode.
Right? That'd be freaking. I don't think that would happen, but it'd be a lot of fun.
I like that a lot.
It'd be a good story. It'd be good. That'd be fun. Yeah, that's the only way I could. When people were saying Brock, I could see that being how they play that out. But either way, though, like you said, there's so many options. The fact that they've got so many pathways they can go with it. With this storyline, even back to the Profits and DIY, Triple H does that. He gives himself options where see how things can play out, see what fans react to. You give yourself plans B and C in case somebody gets injured, because it's this business. It's brilliant. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, because they really could have. They could have plugged in so many people, and if they needed to, they could have plugged in Cody.
They could have plugged in. They could have plugged in so many people into the Bloodline too, Jake, and they went with fucking Reed, and I popped so hard.
Oh, I don't know if you remember, but when Reed didn't get to do the trip to Australia and stuff, I remember. I think it was an interview with Chris Van Vliet. It was somebody like that where Reed even mentioned he's like, Triple H promised me he would make it up to me, and that he has plans for me, and he's like, and I trust him. And that was last year at the Elimination Chamber till now. I think he made up on those plans. I think he treated him well. Triple H is a man of his word. That's awesome to see how he turned that man's career from being third wheel in an intercontinental feud to being in being in the main event at WarGames.
So
Like,
if if you guys are watching UFC, let's dive into Phil Marks book. If you guys are watching UFC, okay, we saw enough of Tyson's ass. My ass.
That's
so here's the card. We're not going to talk about like UFC 309 overly. I'll just talk about the three main fights. Bo Nickel, I think, gets it done over Craig. Although Craig is that guy who comes in and fucks your night up. Oliveira, I think, beats Chandler. I think Jones gets it done over Miocic. And right now, Mickey Gall, the guy who fought CM Punk for CM Punk's first UFC fight and whooped him, just got brutally KO'd. His record's 7-7 now, and he should retire, in my opinion. So there you go. That's UFC hot news tonight, okay? Just so you got, I don't know. There you go.
The UFC minute. I like it.
Right. So let's get into we talked about Red One with Hughezy. We'll skip over that one here. Let's go down. I got two hot newses. So Sports Illustrated gives us an update on Freddy Prince Jr.'s wrestling promotion. The actor said he's spoken with multiple networks and streaming services for a potential new promotion. And he said on Wrestling with Freddy, he has had meetings with WBD and Vice TV. Well, Bud, Vice is like going, like, didn't they just go super bankrupt? And
the way I heard is that was the print and media side of it and not the TV, which is why
I know, but how long till it follows
exactly.
suit?
I'm just gonna say, like, so the right pocket has money and the left one doesn't. Eventually, it's gonna.
And they got rid of Darkseid, didn't they?
No, actually, Cornette in the most recent pod said he was just filmed for an episode about I think the feud between Bruiser and Bruiser and the Sheik, Indianapolis and Detroit.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so-
he let that slip in the most recent pod. I was like, oh yes, thank you. More of that, please.
So Freddie Prince says, we went to Warner Discovery, which was like the worst meeting that I had out of all of them. They basically just wanted me to do a reality show by the end of the pitch. See, this is how it works in Hollywood, folks. It's like, yeah, you do this, and then we'll do this, whatever wrestling thing for you. Also, like, if you notice, Freddie Prinze is doing I Know What You Did Last Summer 3 or whatever the fuck. He's coming back for a new one. He's doing like some of those B-level Christmas movies for Netflix and shit, and that's literally to grind cash to do this wrestling federation he's got in mind. And he was talking about this back when like Bray Wyatt and Karrion Kross were free agents and shit. Now it's like, well, I hope he does start a fed, because some of these people, man, we were talking about it with Hughezy, like, you're giving Herd Syndicate 10 million. NXT's beating them in the fucking ratings. Like, we need to figure this out here. So anyways, though, Prince says it was not a good meeting. I must have failed at some point in the pitch because they were not interested in what I was saying. I gave the same pitch to everyone else. It was the only place that didn't work. So yeah, Warner Discovery, they don't want this. They're in bed with AEW anyways.
And they're punching fools over there anyway. As we've seen, Zaslav's if Zaslav's the head of the snake, the rest of the snake's an idiot.
Yeah, you know, LBD over there, WBL over there. And I also pitched, what was it? Vice. Yeah, Vice TV. And they wanted the show bad, but they're going under some business restructuring, trying to basically stay on the air. Here, I'll share what I'm reading here. Sorry,
that's a rough word. Restructuring's never a good word.
Never good.
That's not a good
entertainment business.
No, it's not a term.
They have Darkseid, and I thought we could be a cool pairing, so I was disappointed there. So, Jesus. Prince also said during the show that he's currently still in discussions with a streaming network about a home for the promotion, but he wouldn't disclose which one. He knows I Know What You Did Last Summer, and he's doing another. Hold on. Oh, he's known for starring in Scooby-Doo and shit. Yeah. Yeah, and he played Jarrus in Star Wars Rebel. Well, there you go. So yeah, shout him out. I hope he starts a fed. We need more feds. But if Tony Khan's gonna price everyone out, then hopefully people look at Prince as like, okay, he worked in WWE, and a lot of haters are like, who did he ever get over and shit? It's like, well, he he wrote like all of Jeff Hardy and Punk pretty much. Like obviously, I think that was that, right? Like when Jeff was the WWE champion or whatever.
Yeah,
like that
I'm
was
pretty sure
all
there's
him.
a lot of different things. Yeah, there's
so-
and a lot of those like the upper mid card storylines that were really really good back then too.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Freddy. He's amazing. In all of his old shit, and you look at him as like his podcast is decent too. Anyways, Manami Toyota. I always do this. I always make you guys watch some Mark shit. Here we go. Here's a minute 45 of one of the greatest female wrestlers, and this is important because we must remind ourselves. Okay, female wrestling now and back then. You know what happened where there was all these years, the diva era, where you know
what happened.
and now it's kind of coming back. And also, like, look at how these ladies work compared to some of these AEW cats. Again, no shots at the roster, but just, I don't know, man. Some of the realism's missing. Let's look at this. Hopefully this music's fair use. But yeah, Toyota never gets discussed in one of the GOATs conversations. But to me, she's just one of the real ones. Look at that shit, dude. So just like, I don't know, her and like fucking Aja Kong did crazy shit. And I'm not saying wrestlers need to like kill themselves, right? Or God damn it, we're on YouTube in Minecraft, right? When you accidentally fall into a lava pit or whatever is in that game. Whatever, however you know. But yeah, she's doing, look at these bridging suplexes. Like, and I know a lot of these moves you're not even allowed to do for a lot of years too. And like women specifically, there's like the Queen's Bridge suplex. Boom, a little snow plow or whatever you want to call that. A Michinoku. What is that move called? The snow plow is what I know it. Al Snow, right?
Yeah.
It's like the modified Michinoku driver or like a modified brainbuster, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Excalibur, let's get Excalibur. Look at that. A run into a turnbuckle into like a sunset. Like that's such good shit, pal.
Yeah, and like the speed and like crispness of
it.
it.
The intensity. That's why like Benoit, man, was so good, right? There's just something about being intense and being like, no, I'm real. And like I bet anyone who worked with her too probably loved working with her. Like I don't hear, you don't hear any stories of her being like too stiff. Of course, these women were getting their asses beat in dojos too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
literally
women's dojos. Seriously.
So yeah, that's miscellaneous for you guys. Some miscellaneous news there, and shout that out. That was amazing. I saw that, had to bring it to the show.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. So chat, how we doing? Let me check in with chat. 182 of you guys. Did you run them up to 100 yet? Let's check it. And we're gonna get into some TNA hot news. We're at 92 likes, so good job. Northern Lights bomb, excellent, love it. So yeah, run those likes up. 8 of you fucking haters, man. Or I'm gonna bring the other Chris on the show to riff with me comedically about the IWC. What do you want? Okay.
You're gonna let him go about Mercedes. You're just gonna tell me what you think about Mercedes. Let him go.
Look at right here, man. Alan Thomas goes, wow, this does look better than 75% of modern wrestling.
Does.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's why some of this shit, man, I bring a little bit of it. I brought Mustafa Ali and Myron Reed, right? I'm a fan, man. Though, like, Myron Reed's a dude where it's like, bro, NXT. Like, he'd kill it there, dude. He has it. He has everything you need and size, too. And he can do all that crazy shit. And he can really wrestle. Not to say, like, the crazy shit isn't really wrestling, but you know, and like Myron's innovative. Like he does shit that people steal. MJF stole his over the top rope cutter. We talked about it here. Myron Reed was on PWT. He's in the goddamn Rascals. Okay. These are guys we need to keep a fucking eye on. And I'm going to bring matches like that to the show. Yes, I'm Phil the Shill right now for the Rascals. Okay. But anyways, Speedball Mike Bailey. Speaking of, you know, Myron Reed's been in TNA. Okay, speaking of NXT as well. So Speedball Mike Bailey has been removed from TNA's official roster page. He looks to be a free agent after dropping his X Division title. Now, we'll follow up on this later because apparently he is AEW bound We'll follow up on this later, however. But yes, Mike Bailey, the Canadian, is no longer in TNA. I thought this was hilarious. Please don't Don Steven us TNA. Let's watch this clip. I'll keep it small screen, so hopefully we can get away with it. And here's just a hilarious. This popped me so hard from Impact here.
Oh, yeah.
You may have beaten me at Bound for Glory, but I don't need a trophy to prove that I can beat your ass. Swear? He swore.
Rhinos. And then just him telling on him, you can't swear. He swore.
Impact
That's
is so much
hilarious.
fun.
Oh,
Impact
yeah,
is
dude.
entertaining, man.
TNA's cooking right now, dude.
It's so much more entertaining than Dynamite. Like, oh my God.
So speaking of Dynamite, let's get into some AEW news. We need those 100 likes for the AEW hot news. No, people knew Punk was off TV because of Saudi K. Well, I didn't see it, and literally, Walter Spencer, I fucking scowl the IWC, and I didn't see many people saying that. So maybe my bubble was just not on with the shits. But yeah, Hughezy brought it to the show, so we're all informed on that. And yeah, thanks, bud. You know what I mean? I didn't even think about that. It didn't even enter my goddamn mind, believe it or not. I just thought, because he's like starring in a horror movie or whatever. So I was like, oh, he's just going to go film for 2 months. And, you know, it literally, but that's probably a mix of both. It's probably like he's doing that and fucking the Saudi thing. And they worked the schedule out. Like it worked out for everybody. So that's usually how it goes in wrestling too. So awesome shit. I'm glad that was the case. And if people don't want to do the Saudi shows, good on them, you know? Probably makes it easier to book too, because then
right, especially now, yeah. It's not like the shows are plenty stacked. They're okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, Reed and Javon, yes, absolutely. Reed, though, I'd say is like Javon's a little green still, you know, and it's okay. But I'd say Myron's like ahead of that. He could be like fucking for real, and I'm not just like saying this. He could be like the guy in NXT, like the main dude in NXT. Like up there for the title, challenging in and around him and Wesley got history too. That could be a feud. They could even team up as heels. You know what I mean? And then you bring in Trey Miguel and Wentz again from TNA, and they have 2-on-2. Let's go. That's Rascal's family right there. Familia. Let's go.
Yeah, they could attack Trick. They could attack Trick, and that could be a part of a way of bringing him
whatever,
in.
Man.
There you go.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring Myron in, man. But he's doing great shows like everywhere. We just saw him wrestle Ali. He wrestles all the big names. Like Reed's wrestling all the names on the indies. You know, his matches are the ones you got to tune into. So I don't know. WWE ID program too, man. All I'm saying, you know, you already had the Rascals on TV. There's one more out there. Let's get him in. Anyways, enough shilling. Fill the shill for my guy. Okay. Over to Dynamite. So we talked about it. I did a little member show there, and I'll clip out from the member show where we covered this, and I'll drop it maybe tomorrow morning or Monday. But we talked about like the fallout from one of the worst Dynamites ever. Now, maybe the ratings didn't reflect that. 666. Satan, I am complete. But like, yeah. So, you know, Tony Khan booked a terrible show. It was just unanimous.
Just awful.
I saw people who were like typically all over AEW's nuts, man, and they were like, what a bad Dynamite. Some people were shilling for it. The 666 rating, I mean, I said 630 or below, but no, they bounced back decently. However, like 666 now, like how many years in a row is Bischoff going to be right? Next year, it's going to be 5. The year after, it's going to be 4. Like, it's just what's happening slowly. And shows like this are why, again, I don't want to put it on the talent. Like we're talking like Bullet Club Gold are out there having a tag match. I'm not trying to shit on them, but no one gives a fuck about them. And that's not a good thing. No one cares about Juice and Jay White. What the fuck, man? Like no one cares about, like no one cares about like Hurt Business, bro. No one really cares. Now I know, 600,000 people do, but it is what it is. One hilarious moment was Moxley's cutting his promo. So we didn't cover this on the clip that I'm going to clip out and you guys will see, but members saw it. We reacted to sort of like the IWC, their reactions. And right now, here's a couple little botches from the actual episode. If we get Don Stevens, I'll clip this out. I'll throw this up on Patreon, patreon.com/prowrestletimes. And we got 3 Patreon videos dropping this week. So holla at your boy. But yeah, someone yells at Mox, go back to Roman. Just listen to this. And these are like the beach ball crowd that they attract now. Like this is what Tony wanted. These are the people who come to these shows. I talked about it on the run-in, so I quote tweeted, and I won't like repeat the shit, but that I said before. You guys will see it on the channel. But either way, let's just hear this, or listen to this rather. Try and hear this as it cuts through. You can hear it clearly, but you might have missed it. You know, when I was watching live, I missed it till people clipped it. So just, yeah, you can hear this guy yelling in an empty Vapid building, go back to Roman, which is hilarious.
Of a lifetime on November 23rd, a shot at the AEW World Championship. All your friends.
Like, man.
It's clear as day.
They're just heckling. They're there to heckle and laugh at this
that's
shit,
why it's
dude.
tickets distributed when they're giving tickets away. Like, yeah, if you got free tickets to this, could you imagine if you're a WWE fan, you'd never actually watched this or haven't watched AEW in years, took a free ticket, and this is what you see. Yeah, that's what you're gonna yell.
Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17 for $2. Thank you, my guy. Mike Tyson's butt is more over than John Moxley. Yeah.
Seen by more people.
Yeah. And like, God, yeah, definitely, dude. So this is just an L. I mean, I'm going to get that out of my bookmarks. Now, here's Swerve botched, and he called fucking, they're in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is like, I guess, the suburban lower class, I don't know, area of fucking, Jake, maybe you know more about it. It's the, like, Stamford's like the rich folk in Connecticut, and then Bridgeport's like the down-to-earth people, blue-collar people of Connecticut, and they're in Bridgeport, and fucking Swerve calls them Stamford, and then Dave Meltzer comes out and goes, well, the reason he said Stamford was because their hotels were in Stamford. That's where they're all staying, is in the rich fucking. So Tony Khan's got them staying in some ballin' ass Four Seasons fucking 5-star, hotel or whatever. Chocolate on the pillow, and mini bar in the fridge. Tony covered the mini bar. It's worked into the contract. Any hotel expenses on Tony's dime, and he's got them set up there. And Swerve is just living the life. Hey, he's fucking just balling out of control, and he's calling Bridgeport Stamford. So they booed his ass. Apparently, Tony Khan came out to address the crowd as well, like off the air, and they booed his ass. So it's just getting bad, man. And I'm telling you, I don't know. We tried to warn you folks, man, and I'm done defending the shit. I've said I've been done before, but if you guys can't tell, like, I'm done. Like, there's no defending almost any of it anymore. No. Even the stuff I like, it's like, okay, yeah, Hurt Business is cool, but I honestly don't care about anything they're doing right now. And then, yeah, epic botch from Swerve. Of course, everyone botches a little bit, but yeah, man, they chanted "This is Bridgeport" at him, and just not a good look for this already like fledgling television program.
We got Full Gear, but I don't know, Stamford, Connecticut. I feel like I need to give these people a fight with him tonight.
And this is supposed to be their fucking like top baby face right now, like standing up against the Hurt Biz, and they just epically botched, man. And I know if Tony could, he would time cop back in time and redo this segment. But, yeah, dude, they chanted at him, "This is Bridgeport." I can't play more than that. We're going to get fucking Don Stevens up in here. So, also, Collision was canceled. They're taping December 7th in Columbus, Ohio. However, they're actually just rescheduling it, I believe, or they're moving it to relocating it. And they're also taping Collisions, I read, and I don't know if I bookmarked it because I just saw it in passing. We'll see. We will see. But apparently they are booking like Thursday tapings for Collision, like the night after in like a smaller place or whatever, or in the same town. I believe. Like they'll do Dynamite and then they'll do Collision like the day after on the Thursday, and then people are in town, they can already wrestle, all that sort. So Tony may be getting some sensibility, but you know, Ricochet's on there. Have it like Collision's just Rampage now, and Rampage is going away, and they got Ricochet main eventing Rampage, a show that's going away. So things are just not looking good over there. The grass ain't always greener, and if we're to believe Hughezy, allegedly, from who he may have allegedly didn't hear anything from, right? Ricochet may be upset as well. He's promised all this shit and it's not happening, and he's just on Rampage. Maybe allegedly that's not true too. Who knows? Moving along. Powerful King, who now has hologram masks, so we can talk about this here. Tony Khan, with incredible, vision. 2 weeks after Halloween drops these hologram masks that just look ridiculous, and why not have hologram model the masks, or like have a picture of side by side, like you can be hologram too, and it glows in the dark. Like they didn't even make it glow in the dark. What the fuck, man? What a terrible thing.
Marketing team.
Yeah, this looks like some shit you'd find in like some sicko's closet. Yeah, it's like it's like a gimp mask. You know what I mean? It's like a colorblind guy's gimp mask. And Meltzer said, "What goes? Just a reminder that this character was 4 years in the making by the 3-time Booker of the Year. Tony Khan reveals new AEW star's debut was planned 4 years ago." Oh, and then look at this drain maker. Like, you couldn't be more of a fucking sicko. This guy goes, AEW is now officially selling hologram masks on their Shop AEW website for $50. This is not a drill. And yes, God, that's Satnam Singh doing the photo shoot with the mask. Why the fuck? What? It's like they can't do anything right. What? Like, if you're gonna have Orange Cassidy do anything, it's put this mask on and stand there and pose.
You fucking mark!
They can't do anything right. God damn it!
Oh God!
It's the funniest shit ever.
It's like you were saying about even the things you like, you don't care about it because they're just gonna fuck it up. You just how many weeks before the storyline goes in the shits? Just like this, like, oh my God,
and they're
just
selling
at the picture of him staying there with his arms up. I'm dying. I'm literally
dude, and they're selling these things for $50, man. For $50, bro.
This is not a drill. Okay, what is it then? A joke?
And so also Tony Khan drops this shit 2 weeks after Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man? And then you have a giant wearing this thing. Like, how about make it for kids and market it to kids? What the fuck are you doing? What grown man is going to buy that other than Dave Meltzer?
What? The cloven hoof Dave Meltzer from the fucking Young Bucks ad.
So Powerful King JJ, whose profile picture is now this mask, which is genius, goes, according to this wrestling reporter, AEW is still running a Columbus show. We shall see what happens. And SRS says AEW is still running a Columbus show. They'll be announcing it soon. Nationwide was originally supposed to reveal their venue was canceled when AEW's new plans were revealed. So he said reveal multiple times. Great writing, of course, all over the dirt sheet, IWC.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Adam Hernandez for $20. My word. Thank you so much. Says, shout out to Kenzie Page doing her thing in NWA. Yes. She's see her here in Texas in January. So there's a plug for Kenzie Page. Shout her out. And here, why don't I pull her up as well? Is she one of the ID program ladies? I'm not sure, but she's killing it. We got people, man, like NWA got some stink on it a little bit, but it's coming back, I feel like, especially if they can keep. She was trained by Kane, Tom Pritchard, and Ricky Morton. She's from Tennessee, And yeah, just doing her goddamn thing. She lost to Nyla Rose in AEW in a squash. Let's see. Yeah, she's been on NWA Power, leading the charge in NWA Empowered, which they're making moves for, women's wrestling. So that's good stuff. And yeah, WWE ID, Adam Hernandez, thank you so much for your contribution to the goddamn show. I appreciate that a lot. And yes, we will keep our eye on Kenzie Page.
Tom Pippen and Ricky Morton as their trainers, like, you're not asking for much better than those two guys.
Yo.
Good Lord. Jesus.
Yo. George just dropped a bomb. He goes, $50 for a hologram mask or $50 for a fucking AEW pay-per-view. I didn't even think about that, bro. You could pay the same. So Tony values his pay-per-views the same as he values this fucking mask.
Oh, God. My answer to that question is no.
Yeah.
No. Just no. Woof.
Like this, it looks like someone's fucking abuela sewed this shit together, too. You know what I mean?
Seriously. Like out of the jacket that from when they were in third grade didn't fit anymore, so they made
it's
him
like
a costume.
fucking raincoat material. What
Yeah,
is this?
exactly. It's exactly what it looks like, a fucking raincoat that had a hole in it. So no, I made you a mask. Go out there.
Tifa wears this shit when it's nighttime and they need to be not ran over, Got fucking reflector things on it, right? So wrestling, I don't know. It's a fucking dumb joke. So yeah, again, Powerful Game JJ makes the show again and says, according to Brian Alvarez, the reason Swerve said Stanford by accident. So I'll read the quote. I mentioned it earlier. He goes, "I will say this to defend Swerve. The hotel that the wrestlers were booked in to stay in was in Stanford. So how? Hey, yeah, we're in fucking." We're staying in Jersey and we're doing a New York show. Oh, hey, New Jersey. Or like we're in Philly and fucking it's so stupid. That's just so dumb. It wasn't like he thought he was in WWE. Yeah, no one thought that but you, Marks. Jesus. We just thought he said the wrong town. Alvarez and co-host Dave Meltzer still agreed that it was a poor mistake for Strickland to make, especially because he is babyface. Blah, blah, blah.
You think?
We know the rest. Yeah. So the ratings are in. They did a 666 in the viewers 0.22 key demo, which I'm sure Dave just fucking fapped it to when he saw that number. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, the best guy, Tony Khan. I'm sure he saw that and was like, what a bounce back, 29% bounce back from last week. So moving along, Speedball Mike Bailey appears to be headed to AEW. I quote tweeted and said, I'm not sure if it was this Shadow Fightful though, I guess for the story, but I said, Mike Bailey tweeted out, and we covered it on the show. He flat out said that he does not give a fuck about legacy, and he doesn't care about. He just wants to go put on dope matches and travel the world, and he just loves like putting on matches and doing his thing athletically and helping younger talent. And he doesn't give a fuck about like WWE or any. He didn't specifically say WWE, but he's like, I don't care about all that. Like I get to travel the world with my beautiful wife and fucking wrestle. That's all I care about. So, yeah, likely he'll end up in AEW, because Tony will give him more money and he can just basically, he's okay to just wrestle on Rampage or Collision. He doesn't give a fuck. And there's a lot of guys there that want to wrestle him. Not to say they won't like push him or anything, but fuck, I don't know. I'd love to see him in NXT. They need someone to shake it up in NXT, and it's a damn shame. I'm a big fan of his, but yeah, I believe AEW bound makes the most sense. Are you a fan of Mike Bailey? Some people don't like his style.
I haven't seen many matches of his, but everyone that I've seen, I've enjoyed. I feel like he's one of those guys that if he's wrestling the people that will just, never sell and do all the flips for no reason, he will just do that. But if you get him against somebody who wants to, actually have a good, decent match with some story in it and some selling, like he definitely could. And a couple of months in NXT with the right training, I think he'd be fantastic. But you know, if that's what he wants to do, good on him. I mean, I'm not going to fault him for getting the money and putting on bangers. It's just that's not stuff I'm going to watch.
So, Unpaid Critic tweets out Collision's getting WCW thundered. And at Cultaholic tweets out, they quote the Observer newsletter. So, this is Dave. AEW is planning on doing more Thursday tapings. Pardon me, for Collision going forward. I talked about that. The main talent are said to like it more because if they are on the road on Wednesday, it is easier to stay for a second day of taping. So, yeah, easy peasy around there. All easy wrestling, I guess. No, not that. Not that I don't like. I don't know, man. Football players, they get a lot of time off, and they bust their asses though, and really sacrifice themselves. Wrestlers do that too, but it's more of a controlled situation where I don't know.
Here's the thing: if they were booking smart enough, where they could have it booked out decently enough, where like you knew like, all right, so I'm going to be on Dynamite and Collision this week, but then I'm not going to be on Dynamite the next week. I'll be on Collision. Then you could probably still do Wednesday and Saturday, but he just brings everybody to every show and like, yeah, maybe you're wrestling, maybe you're not. Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares?
Yeah,
so,
we know that for sure. I know that for sure. I know Bill Marks knows that. I've been told that.
Exactly.
For real. Like, so right down here, this guy goes $50. I know their production lacks by being straight out of PWT. Hey, now. Shout out Pro Wrestle Tees. But yeah, hey, now. What do you mean? You mean me? No. But should be 25 max. Okay.
You're catching Colt Cabana's strays, dude.
Yeah, I'm getting strays because of Colt. God damn it. No.
Good Lord.
So Kenny Omega does like a work with like Sean Ross Sapp. He also had Gabe Kidd on, and
Sapp's probably loving that. Oh yeah, let me be part of it. I'm part of the storyline. I'm part of the storyline. It's great.
Yeah. But Kenny says he has a good thing going, and they don't need him in AEW. And what is Kenny smoking? Because what the actual fuck? AEW is like at its lowest right now. So for Kenny to say this is either like unaware or he's just trying to rile up the internet. I think he's just riling up the internet. I think I don't know, but listen, it is a fucking fumble. And I talked about it on the last show, I believe, to have Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd do that shoot work for New Japan and have his big return to the ring be in Japan. That's such a fucking L, bro. When he's an EVP, he even said that he's backed off from EVP status, so he's not even an EVP now. Are they pushing him away? Who knows, man? Obviously, he's going to come back, do shit with the Bucks and everything, but I think he's kind of working here. But why couldn't he have done this with Punk? They would have made so much money. Why couldn't they have done this with Punk? It's so crazy to me, and it just shows that Tony Khan has no fucking idea what he's doing. He never will. And for real, it's just like, bro, if you don't,
it's the same as he's always been.
Even this dude, do that work shoot shit with Gabe, but you're doing it on my New Japan crossover show. Like, you're still doing it for me. I don't give a fuck if it's a New Japan me combined show. You have to be able to put your foot down in situations like that. And this is insane to me. Let's hear what Kenny has to say. We have more quote up here. And go back to the last show if you guys want to see the actual brawl footage. Or maybe I watched it on the run-in or some shit. I don't remember. But either way, you're on the Clips channel, so you'll see it.
AEW has got a good thing going.
And they don't. They have the worst thing going right now.
I don't think they need me. I think they need me. So I will I'll make my return for New Japan instead for now.
And like, I don't like how Snap, like, if you guys are going to kayfabe an interview, fucking sell it like you're actually interested in, like, oh, wow, they don't need Kenny. Like, at least, like, do something, man. Craziness. So moving along, Kenny just working. He's just working everybody. That's all it is. And, like, Fightful's in on it, which is okay. But then it's like, how do you trust news and shit? You know what I mean? How do you trust the news? That's all, man. It bugs me out. It's the same thing with Dave. Like, dude, we know you're texting Tony Khan and shit, so we can't trust anything you say about AEW. Like, that is like we can't trust fully. Oh, he's saying something good. Now, it doesn't mean it's not a good thing, but he might be exaggerating the truth or embellishing the truth a little when it comes to WWE or whatever. Well, not a little. He does it a lot when it comes to ratings, etc. Right? So either way, Kenny goes like, it's tough to answer because why not AEW? There's nothing wrong with AEW at all. If you've watched any of the episodes of our TV recently, everything is flowing like clockwork right now. I feel like there's a spot for all of the hardworking men and women that are on those shows. They've all worked incredibly hard to earn their spots and keep those spots. I feel like if I just kind of show up and said, hey guys, I'm back, so one of you are going to have to, I just don't want to be that guy. So I feel like when there's an opportunity, but you're doing that to the guys in New Japan. What are you talking about? That's why he's just working, man. Kenny is like low key, I think.
Ever since he started doing those streams, I believe in that too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We've been chronicling this for like a year now on PWT. Fuck, I'm torn, but I like it. That's why I'm interested in Kenny. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, the stuff him and Gabe are doing is a work shoot, but they're both trying to be like real, and I love that about both those guys. And I'm gonna be watching their fucking New Japan match, and I can't believe Tony didn't have his return be an AEW. I just cannot believe that. I can't get over it. It's like when we talk about Tony fumbles stuff, this is what we're talking about. This may seem like nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's like such a big thing in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, but right now I feel like AEW's got a good thing going, so they don't need me. I'll make my return for New Japan instead for now. Such a fucking L, man. For Tony Khan, a W for Kenny. Big W for Kenny, because he's calling the shots on Tony. He's telling Tony, no, I'm in on the plan. Then you're fucking dumb, bro. Then you don't know what you're doing, like truly. Like, we already know that, but like, sorry, Tony. Don't mean to go so hard, but like, no. It's giving back to New Japan. I get that, but you gotta fucking have better.
Now it's not the time to do that.
That's one of the only things. Yeah, like Omega's one of the only things that I could see possibly. Look, if he showed up in WWE, people would go nuts. Like when fucking Cody returned to fight Seth and stuff. I know Kenny hasn't been in WWE, but he is a guy. In every 2K game, they put all of his moves, his entrance, his fucking mannerisms, his taunts, whatever you want to call it. They every year for the last like decade, man. I'm telling you, Kenny's maybe not a decade, but close to. Kenny's been that guy, man. So,
yeah. I mean, people knew what the machine guns were. People would know. Like,
yes,
it would be over.
The machine guns.
Exactly. He would be over instantly.
Exactly, man. So,
especially the way they would present him, they would make sure his presentation was great, and the announcers would put him over like he was the greatest. Like it would.
Yes.
It wouldn't take long. It would be done.
And like, I know people don't like that. Oh, come on now, Phil. Like, what do you mean? But it's the truth, man. It's the truth. He would be over like Rover. So we're just gonna leave.
Hello.
Yeah. So NXT in Dade City, a house show. And again, it's so funny seeing the AEW marks try and roast the NXT house shows that don't put this shit on TV. And now NXT is doing house shows more frequently, and there's like 100 people there less, and that's the whole point. So none of these motherfuckers leak shit on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's so that people fucking don't stooge shit and pictures don't get leaked, and they can develop people before you see them on TV. And they have to do this because NXT is on TV now. So you need something that's not on TV. I've said it forever. They need a territory. That's why WWE ID is amazing, because they're going to work with these fucking brands too, or brands, if you want to call them that, territories, federations, right?
Schools,
we're bringing federation back, schools, whatever. And they're going to, that shit that's like not on TV or not as mainstream, but it's still like the same way to get reps in. You can teach them and everything. They're going to film it all themselves. WWE films everything, even their house shows and shit. They film everything themselves. But look at this dime to dime.
And they get like NXT stars coming in to put on their cards. Only makes them more money. It's brilliant.
And this girl is thicker, man. And like, what the fuck? She's not a wrestler, you know? Like, what the fuck? And someone tweeted out, like, new ref, who this? And then someone's like, Shawn Michaels out here already scouting refs too, or whatever. I saw someone tweet that out, like, yo, he's out here scouting goated refs too, or whatever. And
He can do
I'm
no
not
wrong.
sure. What's that?
I said he can do no wrong. Shawn Michaels, he does no wrong.
It's funny too, like, you know, a long trot from some other we've seen. But yeah, we'll just keep her right there.
Oh, come on.
So let's go to our WWE news here. So Ryback with an ultra rare W. Speaking of, like, you know, some of the marks again are saying, like, why is WWE taping so many shows? And I find that annoying. And we talked about it earlier. The WWE fan base and the IWC has done a really good job of, like, not spoiling these tape shows and stuff. At least not what I see. And I'm all over the IWC. But yeah, this tribal wrestling, tribal megastars. Like, once again, Raw seems to be a double taping tonight. There are no tickets advertised for next week on WWE's website, which usually means the show is taped. And these taped shows already. Well, no, man. You guys are the ones getting mad when we're like, embrace the grind, bruv. And meanwhile, they're figuring out ways to get the same amount of content fulfilled for everybody involved while giving people more time off to do things like film movies or be with their families or go see their families on Thanksgiving, bro. Like, if this was AEW, you'd be like, Tony Khan, the God Jesus,
right?
Jesus Khan, Christ Khan. So Ryback with an ultra rare W goes, understand this. For years, talents barely had time off, holidays, family time, true rest, rare luxuries. They have to rush home, do laundry, repack, dry clean suits, and head back on the road. Wrestlers are human beings with lives, families, and nonstop schedules. If tape shows give them a breather, that's a good thing. So instead of spoiling it for yourself online, just enjoy the show. They work harder than any other form of sports or entertainment year-round. Do everyone a favor, quit the whining over nothing, and show some respect to the men and women who give you some sort of meaning to your pathetic life. Damn. Oh, he just cooked that guy too. Jeepers. Yeah, I didn't know he was going to do that.
Right.
But
didn't realize it was going that hard, but good for him. He's right, though.
Yeah, if anyone knows about fucking time off, it's Ryback. Hey-o. No, but that he just cooked a sicko. Fucking sicko for the sicko segment.
George says, must be a fake Ryback. That's a good line. That's George's right. That's a good one.
Must be fake Ryback, yeah.
Shut up. Yeah, it's a good line, George. It's a good one.
So Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been speculating forever on, you know, what is going on with this JBL just showing up and clotheslining the shit out of people in TNA all over the world. He clotheslined the shit out of Marty Scurll. I think he showed up to GCW, you know, TNA, all over the place. He's just showing up, clotheslining dudes. Mexico, you know, there's got to be a payoff, right? And now for sure, I believe my original theory that there will be some sort of payoff, but also JBL is out there, like, even if it's not scouting, he's out there like, this is part of their, like, planting a seed in all of these companies. Yeah, JBL, come over, clothesline a motherfucker, go viral. You know, and then it's like, yo, we'll come in, scout. Hey, we're making good relationships. And Bruce Pritchard is the guy revealed to be the mastermind behind JBL's current storyline. So I don't know. I think PWT was right once again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
ding,
yeah,
ding,
dude.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, let's go. I want to see more of JBL just popping up. Even like in WWE, it'd be cool if he just like showed up to one of these NXT house shows, clotheslined a motherfucker, dipped out. You know,
I'd be great at one of the house shows. Yeah, not even
on the TV. You know,
yeah, he's like the Oprah of clotheslines. You get a clothesline, bam. You get a clothesline, bam. I love it. Just showing up, hitting people, and that's awesome though that it's Pritchard behind it and that there actually is something.
Yeah,
you know, whatever. And he's like an ambassador. Yeah, he shows up and you know, gets word for the shows that he's at. I'm sure there's some that can promote it for things too. Like, it's great.
Yeah, and that's how you know that there's gonna be something from this, and who knows what. And maybe it culminates in like the people he's been clotheslining. Or I don't even think it'll be like this big, huge storyline reveal. Maybe something to do with Nemeth, because he seems to be like whispering stuff to Nemeth and really fleshing something out there. However, I think the big payoff is just like he's just showing up and kind of, like I said, planting seeds of like, hey, we'll JBL here, pal, we'll work with you, hey, who do you got? We'll send someone over, and just letting everyone know, this WWE shit we're knocking the shit out of everybody. So anyways, moving along, John Cena showed up. Speaking of training the future, Cena showed up at Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory training school, which is fucking crazy for the WWE ID. So as soon as they get disassociated with AEW, what happens? John Cena shows up at the Nightmare Factory in a suit. So I don't know if he bumped around or anything, but so gracious with his time. I wonder if the AEW guys had to jump out of the picture or what. But they're here scouting, and it's already begun, man. And
how cool would that?
I love it. Also, I don't know if I had it. I didn't put it in my AEW news, but Dustin Rhodes, formerly Goldust, officially dropped the ROH tag titles, I believe, and is like saying his goodbyes to Ring of Honor as well. So he is gone. The old me's dead and gone, and he's headed back to fucking WWE. Fingers crossed, Hall of Fame induction. Let's fucking do it.
I mean, is there any place better for Goldust to go into the Hall of Fame than Vegas? I mean, maybe Hollywood, but
yes,
Vegas
Hollywood would be, but when
Vegas is pretty good.
Cody Rhodes is there doing the induction. You have like, I don't know, man. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, that's
I can't wait.
Be a speech.
And just like having him back there, just where he goddamn belongs, and then working in NXT. Also, his own wrestling fed can be part of the WWE ID program as well. So
beautiful,
great stuff all around. Cena though, showing up to Cody Rhodes school, like how amazing is that, man? Wrestling's in good hands here.
Imagine being one of those kids and John Cena shows up to give you a like, oh man, soak up every word of that.
Speaking of WWE ID program, Brad Baylor was ID'd at the Wrestling Open. So this Brad Baylor kid here, I'm unfamiliar with him, but shout out Muscle Man Malcolm, who I believe was there in person. So he's like, here, he dropped the scoop, Muscle Man Scoops over here, dropped it for everybody. Like, here's who got ID'd tonight at this indie show. And man, this Brad Baylor kid, decent look, man. Looks like an old, like, 90s movie villain, or like like the bully in like a late 80s movie or something.
He's like the bully. He's like the leader of the douchebag fraternity at your college, like the rival college.
Yeah, he like tried to take Kelly away from Zach and Saved in an episode.
There it
so
is.
Aaron Rourke was ID'd at the wrestling opening. So this is, or the Wrestling Opening, the Wrestling Open, dyslexia, the Wrestling Open, where, and I don't know, he looks like an Ascension type guy. I don't know. I'm not familiar. Chat, let me know. And good for him, man. He got ID'd. So another one. Scott D'Amore. This is via Sean Ross Sapp. Scott D'Amore, speaking of people, popping up out of nowhere like JBL, Scott D'Amore was visiting the WWE PC Performance Center last week. Fightful Select has learned, and we have more details up for subscribers, so I ain't subscribing to that shit. But D'Amore was there. It came out, allegedly he was just saying hi to people, etc. But don't be shocked if Maple Leaf Pro is a place where possibly NXT talent could show up and mix it up with AEW guys as well. Now, I think both companies would say nay to that. But Scott D'Amore is the guy who put the whole TNA crossover NXT shit into motion, regardless of what people will tell you. I'm sorry, but it's just you can just look at it chronologically. You know what I mean? We know who was
Jordan
doing
Grace
that.
said it. when she had that
Jordan
interview
said it,
on
and
the-
she was the girl who did it first. You want to bring it back
That's first
earlier?
Rumble,
Mickey James, and
Oh yeah.
So I believe Scott was in charge then as well, and she showed up with the title like 2 years or a few years before. I can't remember when it was. Lance Anoa'i, though, speaking of Bloodline, we had it in the poll in the chat. He could be the 5th member. I highly doubt it, but we have to throw it in there. Oh, yeah, I fucked up the spelling of the name. There you go. Lance Anoa'i has officially signed with WWE, and yeah, he's popping up with NXT. So I don't know, man. I think what you do is you put him with like Zilla and Ava, and you have a fucking, even though Zilla's not in there, but he is a WWE ID guy, like before they ever had an ID. I'm telling y'all this. They've been watching him. Yeah, he knows it's going to be his time. And you have Hikuleo, so that's like a new bloodline right there too. That's like a whole like young bloodline. Yeah, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I'm down that more of it, because they're not fucking it up. If this was like NWO Black and White versus NWO, you know something, Jack? NWO Wolfpack is on the attack, brother. You know, if it was that, yeah, dude, and they were fucking up like and there was no direction with all this, I'd say boo boo. But I want more bloodline because it's making sense. And like,
yeah,
where's it gone wrong so far? Oh my god, fucking ban this guy, George, spamming shit in the chat, sending a link to some illegal shit. UFC 309. My word.
Get out of here.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna go to UFCHD.com, you asshole. Thank you, George. Just ban that guy. Ban him fully. Not even a timeout. That's a ban.
It's not even a .com. It's a .com. It's not even a dot.
.com. Yeah.
Jesus
Christ. Already watching it, dummy. Yeah. Anyways, thank you, George.
Total
Top
save.
mod of the top pod. Good save. So moving along here, Jeepers. But the sickos said Becky Lynch will be all elite. So we get an update. We always knew, because she went on Ariel Helwani and was basically like, well, I'll leave my options open. And then Ariel's just blowing up her spot and is like, so you're not going to talk with AEW? She's like, no, I'm not gonna, because she doesn't want to like piss off WWE and be like, yeah, but she also wants to levy a little negotiation there. Fucking Ariel. But anyways, WrestleOps, Becky Lynch is expected to be back in the mix with WWE by the time Raw premieres on Netflix in January 2025 via PW Insider, who blocked me, even though I just made a goddamn sarcastic joke. And that sucks, but yeah, shout them out there. I believe them over any of these other. So I know, like, I'm like, shout out Fightful. Some people are like, oh, fuck, they don't know, whatever. I get both, I think it's like PWI, Fightful, Observer, if we're ranking like the top 3 that people read and share. No? Is there another one that people share more than those 3, Jake?
I don't think so. I would just think like, it's like PWI, then Fightful, and then like
then Observer.
You ever seen like what is it, Moneyball? There's 50 feet of crap, and then there's the Observer. I think that's where that one kind of goes.
So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, she's gonna re-debut. She's the fucking man. She is a draw. But yeah, we got to look at these graphics for a few months. Rebecca Quinn is all elite.
When they use their freaking shoot names, like it's just so embarrassing. like when Dave calls Rock Dwayne, don't call him Dwayne.
Yeah. I knew Dewey. Actually, you know something, Jake, actually, all Jake, actually, I knew Dewey. I knew him when he was a kid. His name was Frank.
Dewey.
Called him Dewey Mortis. Frank Mortis.
Everybody's got a first name. Jackass. Oh God, Dave.
So from legends back to recruits, former Miami Dolphins cornerback Trill Williams has signed with WWE. He is one of the names announced today as part of the new PC class.
Oh, cool.
Any Miami Dolphins fans in the chat familiar with Trill? Yeah, I don't know. So shout him out. I'm not familiar, but he's super athletic, because he's
right after him,
cornerback in the NFL. Yeah. So here's the new Raw logo. They dropped it, I believe, during the Mike Tyson fight, January 6th. So this is it, chat. I'm going to put a new poll in the chat, and I'm going to ask you fools, do you do you like the new WWE Raw logo? And you guys will let me know in chat. And Jake, I want your thoughts on it. Do you like the new Raw logo? Yes or no? Or do you even give a fuck?
I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not the person who will freak out. Some people freaking out over them like they did over the SmackDown one. I kind of like the SmackDown one. It didn't like jump out to me right at the beginning, but grew on me. This one, I don't hate it off the bat. And I'm sure by the time I've seen it 10,000 times after, 2 or 3 weeks of Raw, I won't mind it. It's pretty cool. It's different.
It's different. As Brendan Schaub would say. Shout out 10 minutes. Shout out 10 minutes of Schaub podcast. Love it. Okay, so guys, that was WWE news. Round of applause for WWE and AEW and TNA news. Let me check in with chat. Let me check in with likes as well. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you guys crushed it, man. Got over the 112. We have sickos. We have Dave Meltzer. I don't know. I see people dipping out. They're dummies. Yeah. And, we got, 2 more segments to get through. I'm going to check in with chat, though. What are you all doing? Are you guys watching UFC? Are you guys watching football? What's on? I'm not watching Collision. I've had UFC on the whole time. It's been a great night of fights so far. And I'm excited for this main card, especially. And chat, you guys let me know with either flutes or barf emojis or whatever. Do you guys want sickos or do you guys want flutes next? That's what we'll figure out next. The logo isn't that bad. I don't care much about the logo. Yeah, I don't really give a shit, but it is what it is. Netflix better get their shit together before WWE gets there. The debacle last night. Yeah, so I covered that earlier, Northern DC, and I understand your concern. I understand everyone's concerned with that. However, I pointed it out earlier in the show, they're not going to have 60 million people trying to watch at once. You're also going to get a lot of people who are like, oh, sweet, I can watch wrestling tomorrow. And it's when like Joe Rogan's special comes out, everything's crystal clear. So during the Paul Tyson fight, like that was a unique thing. Now, this is why they're having these like comedy specials go live and the roast go live and then the Tyson Paul fight go live. They did all that so that they can work out the kinks before they unveil like weekly live content in the new year, starting with, and then WWE will be how they work out the kinks for real sports and real live entertainment, possibly live reality television, all of these sorts of things, right? I know I'll just say work, shoot, work for your boy Phil. I'm a bit of a writer, right? And yeah, I know that's what they're looking at is things like that. So it's just working out the kink process. And I agree with you. But I covered that earlier. Like they're not worried. Trust me, don't be worried. Yeah. There's not going to be fucking 60 million refreshing at the same time and rebooting their Netflix and shit because it's all grainy. And you notice right when the fight ended too, no more problems for all the post-fight shit because everyone turned that shit off as soon as it was done. You could see the fans getting up and just flooding out because it was such terrible nonsense. And Watatata down with the sickness. I see lots of flutes.
Yeah, and they've got the company behind like the network behind Netflix. I know a bit about them from what I do for a living, and yeah, they've been reinforced with it. And you're exactly right. These are basically all test runs to see how they can hold up. And yeah, that was the most they've ever seen. It was like double than what they've ever seen at one time. So even the problems that they had was, not that bad considering it was double than the impact they'd ever seen. So they should be just fine.
So Mike Saucelay says, LOL, MVP says to Commander, you shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't even be here today. Flutes in the chat. I see the flutes in the chat. So we will get to a Dave Meltzer dumb moment here. You know what I mean? We might as well.
Never a bad time.
Might as well be walking on the sun. So it is. It is time for everyone's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
Oh, Davey.
Wavy Davey. So we have some stuff saved in here that are going into the next music video, of course, as you guys know. Imagine saying this to someone who's kept their job for 42 straight years. It's so funny. Dutch Mantel's response, of course, he wants to slap Meltzer. We covered it on the show. But Eric Bischoff, while we were live on the air, I believe on Wednesday, put PWT over, gave me the rub. No diddy. And quote tweeted PWT while we were on the air, so that's
the best
amazing.
guys, Tony Khan.
And so Meltzer says to this Joe Del Busso guy, who goes like, no, AEW lost, and this is about the NXT stuff, because they don't cater to casual wrestling fans, and that's okay. Something Dave sees as 5 stars isn't necessarily something a random dude from Hoboken or Winnipeg might see the same way. WWE has a much bigger reach, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. Dave Meltzer goes, oh, you heard a podcaster who has no clue about history of number 2 promotions historically? Who has no clue about history of number 2 promotions historically? Just say the history of number 2 promotions. Fucking asshole. They were either misleading you or lying. No, that's what you do. Also, WWE doesn't cater to casuals either.
What?
Oh my, we covered this before, but what?
Liar!
Yeah.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
Liar! Madness. Okay. And so he goes, the booking is assuming everyone is a regular weekly viewer. No, it's not, because of all the fucking packages. We've covered it here on the show. There's all these packages to remind everyone, or if you're a first-time viewer, you know what's going on in the show, right? The only promotion that caters to casuals is CMLL.
You fucking mark!
Whoa. That's fucking crazy. And so I quote tweet this and say, this might be the greatest tweet ever, dude. Holy shit. Dave has lost it completely, and just when I think I can take a break from roasting this goober, he says some even dumber shit than the week before. Flutes in the chat. And then Dave quote tweets me. He didn't even need to do that. And he goes, the most clueless, out-of-touch take I've seen in a while, even for this clown. And that's saying a lot. Watching AEW now, indie-rific shit show. Boom. Eric Bischoff reads PWT. Confirmed.
Dummy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. We got to get Bischoff on the show for a Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week. I need chat to go spam his shit and be like, Dave, get on PWT. I mean, Eric, get on, and Dave too. And Dave too, but we've trolled him too much, I think. But we're not trolling Bischoff. And actually, we're going head-to-head with Bischoff this Wednesday. He's doing a Dynamite watch-along. You motherfuckers better watch with me, goddammit. I'm the seasoned vet here. Okay, brother? Okay, Bischoff, you think you're going to roll up and watch Dynamite with Conrad? That's not very fair. And do you know what? I've been doing this longer. You may have done wrestling longer than me, Bischoff. But I've been doing this longer, okay? That's not very fair, Eric. No, but, dude, we need him on a Dave Meltzer dumb moment. That would be fucking phenomenal.
Oh my god, he would pop.
Me and Bish, dude, because I bring the little cookies and nuggets that he might not even see, you know.
Yeah.
So
listening. Oh my god.
And Dave has yet to apologize for the Dutch stuff, but yeah, Bischoff, I'm of course going to put this in a video. Got to put myself over like everyone does. Everyone puts PWT over. But Meltzer said what? The GOAT tags Meltzer in this and goes, hi, Dave Meltzer. Remember when you used a sick ex-wrestler's GoFundMe campaign as a chance to put over Tony Khan? Remember when you got fooled by a fake X account that Backlash was at the Tokyo Dome? Remember when you thought a Discord post was a WBD internal memo? And yeah, here is Meltzer just like talking shit to people. This guy goes, so it didn't beat everything. Because Meltzer goes, it beat everything but whatever in Fox News, basketball in Fox News or whatever. But here's the thing. When he says and the news, that means like 5 or 6 or 7 TV shows sometimes. And Dynamite's really like 9th. You know what? Or whatever, dude. Or it's like 6th or it's 5th or whatever. Right? He just goes and the news. But it's like, no, man. It's all these different Fox News shows too. You know, last time it was like 5 different shows they were behind. So they were actually like 7th for the night. Like someone like Raj Giri, you got to follow him, man. He actually fact checks this shit. Tells you
he's the best.
And so Meltzer goes, nobody who understands the English language said it did. Dave can't even properly speak the fucking English language.
Dummy. Yeah.
I'm half a redact, and I'll get drunk on stream sometimes, and I make more fucking sense than Dave Meltzer. Bumble fucking my way through the news.
Is Dave talking about understanding? It's like peak hypocrisy.
Yeah, and like the English language said it did. Nobody who understands the English language said it did. It's like, no, Dave, you word things goofily. He's just pointing that out. Like, you're a goober dog. So, anyways, Dave, more cope. I don't even know what this guy was saying, but Meltzer goes, "You're 5 years out of date. Been talking about that in detail since the launch of the company in major articles. Maybe you and Brian should read before making such an inaccurate assertion." And he gets ratioed by his own people too. He gets 10.7K views on his shit. 9 likes, 8 responses, bro. Look at, man, he gets 13.5K views, 14 likes on that shit. Because, bro, and I get it, people who you've blocked can see your shit and not interact. But that's like it's wrong, man. He's fallen off like I can't even explain the fall off as one of the worst fall offs in the history of anything, just in human history. Not like history. Yes, I said it twice, like Meltzer purposefully, right? It's historically, it's the greatest fall off in history of historically, because like think about I can't even think of a sports fall off. Who's a player or anyone that just fell off like this in the span just 5 years, done, cooked, washed.
Everybody talks about like Willie Mays with the Mets.
It's there you go. Yeah,
I mean, comparison that people make, because I mean I was well before my time, but that's all I could think of.
Yeah,
I feel like when people say that phrase is overused, like, "Oh, the fall off should be studied." Like, no, Dave's actually should be studied. It actually should. It's not like a cliche to say it.
Yeah,
good Lord,
I know.
That's Travis Heckle's artwork is so.
Yeah, I got Travis Heckle coming on the show too soon, guys. So
that's awesome. He's great.
Yeah, he is, man. He's
good people.
He's
too.
a great guy. He's a legend. And I'm gonna ask him some cool questions too. But we're gonna laugh at dirt sheets and stuff. Don't worry, it's gonna be hilarious. But yeah, there's some. I just want to ask him some shit too, like about making the thumbnails, like. Some of the I'm curious, like, does he get any of the backlash that Cornette gets for some of these thumbnails? If so, like what? Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him some shit like that, and like what his favorite thumbnails were and shit, because that piques my curiosity. Like what were the ones that were his favorites that people never really talked about, and why and shit. I like picking artist minds.
Which ones that he thought were gonna be a massive hit and word, and which ones.
Yeah, I'm spoiling the whole interview now, but like we're gonna talk to him about that, and I can't wait. And then we're just gonna like make fun of dirt sheets and see if he's into it, But
that's awesome. That'd be fun.
Yeah, a fucking huge L for Meltzer, and yeah, tremendous thumbnail there. So Meltzer reports that Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens is slated as the main event for Saturday night's main event on 12/14 from the Nassau Coliseum. Wrestling Observer newsletter. So who knows? Is it gonna be Cody Owens for that, or is it going to be for Survivor Series? It seems like they're making this match right away, so maybe a rematch for Saturday night's main event. Dave, I don't think knows anything unless it's being advertised for already, but I don't think anything's being advertised for Saturday night's main event already, and Dave just doesn't know anything about anything,
especially not with WWE. The only way it would be advertised, I could see if maybe it was advertised locally, but if it's advertised locally, that could easily be the dark match main event.
Oh, that's a good idea too, a dark match. And then they announced another main event like the month after. In like January, I think they're doing the second set main event. So once a month, a Saturday night's main event. I'm down. So moving along here, NXT attempted to book a date at the Hammerstein Ballroom to follow up on the 2300 arena success. However, the date they wanted was too close to the dates Tony Khan AEW had booked. Wrestling Observer. I don't know, chat. Do you guys believe that? Do you believe that, Jake? I don't know if we can believe Dave on this. I think Hammerstein would be like, of course, because like they might. How many seats are in the Hammerstein? Does anyone know? Chat can let me know that. But like, I don't think even if it was close to the same time, why wouldn't they want 2 big shows in a row like that? I think Dave is making shit up to try and put AEW over here. What say you all, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I know with like some of the major arenas, there can be deals where like somebody else can't book the same type of thing within like 90 days of your show or whatever. But I feel like that's only like major arenas. I don't feel like the Hammerstein Ballroom would have that. I feel like that's probably something that Tony made up in his head, because I'm sure that NXT wants to book the Hammerstein Ballroom, but they probably haven't figured out exactly when yet. And maybe they inquired about it and it was like the next week or something like that, or it was like within a couple of days or something. And so it was too much of a hassle for them to get stuff in and out or something. But I don't put it as what he's trying to make it off to be. Because he's trying to make it seem like, because if Madison Square Garden, if you booked a show in February, I couldn't do it the same wrestling show in March. I would have to wait till like June or something like that. But that's Madison Square Garden. I feel like that's what Tony's trying to pull off and make himself seem important, like a big boy.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I don't believe anything Dave's got to say about
that's
that.
Yeah. So, and it's a 2,500 seat venue. I just looked it up.
Thank you. Yeah, I was looking for that. So Wrestle Purist tweets out the current AEW Death Rider storyline is Jon Moxley's deal as far as the angle goes, and Tony Khan was agreeable to do it. Tony Khan is still overseeing it, like everything on the television, but a lot of the ideas and verbiage is coming from Moxley. Well, no wonder it's such a piece of shit. You got fucking Moxley with this garbage, and then Tony Khan's the filter on it, and Dave Meltzer's going to let everyone know. So, way to put heat on all those guys, more than they already get, but is what it is, though. Moving along. We already kind of knew that. So, Pro Wrestle, this is from someone I muted. Oh, AR Gold. Yeah, he's just such an annoying fuck. It's like, yeah, don't come on my timeline, but Pro Wrestle Times Roman, I get the young fucks, though. I spit my coffee out laughing. So AIR Gold tweets out that Roman and the Young Bucks have been inducted into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame 2024. Roman equals best champion of this decade. Young Bucks best tag team ever. And I don't know if that's what he's saying or that's what the Observer voted him and shit. I put out a conspiracy theory, right? I put out a conspiracy theory and said this. I think he snuck in the Bucks the same time so that if you question Dave's decision, then he can go, oh, well, I put Roman in. Is he not the most over or whatever? But because I don't even believe in the votes of these shits anymore, dude. Like, fuck whoever even votes in this stuff are all his friends.
Well,
so,
and he put the numbers in of the votes, like I think last year or something, or the year before, and it was like 460 people total voted. It's not a lot of people.
This real Philly Phil guy goes, Roman doesn't belong in any HOF. And I quote tweeted it, and I was like, I can't remember. I was like, shut the fuck up, the internet or something.
Yeah, no, I saw that tweet. It was a good one.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said. I should have bookmarked it, but it is funny. I just destroyed him. And yeah, what an idiot. Phil with extra L's because he's a dumb fuck, giving us a bad name. And
right.
Yeah, Roman definitely deserves this. And Bucks deserve, like, I don't know, they're the best tag team in like the 2010s. I think you could make that argument, honestly.
I mean, the best on the indie level. My thing about them is, as good as their matches were and stuff, like they never, because it was mostly on the indies, there wasn't a lot of stories behind it. You know, and that's what we've seen is they're not good like week to week. But their matches were fun. You know, they were fun matches, definitely.
Yeah, and they were like selling merch, and then they ushered in AEW. Like all of that can't just be like, no, they weren't shit. But like since then, since 2020, it's been just downhill, man.
You nailed it with the 2010s. Yeah, through 2019, totally. The moment the moment it switched to 2020, over.
Fucking over, dude. Over. So I got tagged in this by Kingslayer Network. This guy goes, never change, Dave Meltzer, never change. Takeshita fan, who's a cringe lord. So, 2. This is what's in Dave's notes, 2. Mina Shirakawa beat Harley Cameron with the glamorous driver. They rubbed their boobs in the others' faces and shook their boobs, and in between had a pretty decent match.
You what?
Fucking Dave, man. That's just hilarious. I mean, it is the most over thing, but everyone got triggered by the boob shake stuff. we're bringing sexy back here at PWT. We say it all the time. I don't give a fuck about none of that. But if it was WWE, they would all melt down. Oh, just objectifying women. And like, there's like 5 minutes of wrestling for women on fucking AEW shows and shit. All 3 shows had like 5 minutes the other week or something.
Right, and NXT opened and closed with great women's wrestling matches.
So did SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
So. Boobies, though, for guys who don't see a lot of boobies, man, it's a show for them. So here is Wrestling Shoot interviews, and I believe James is the fellow's name. Am I wrong on that? I keep calling him James.
James.
Yeah,
It's
James.
James.
Thank
It's
you.
James.
Okay. James here or whatever goes, I promise I won't keep bringing this up, but this is every single mention of Dutch in this week's Wrestling Observer. So I guess no apology from that gutless cunt and fake rumor mongering scumbag. I won't actively be on the Dave Meltzer hate exposed train forever, and just until Monday when my interview with Eric Bischoff drops. If you thought mine and Dutch's response of Meltzer was harsh, Eric Bischoff is even worse. Let's go. I cannot wait for that. And so here is, I'm going to drink some Red Bull and read what fucking Dusty Dave has to say about Dirty Dutch here.
You have to put that on notifications for when that video drops.
100%. So, and I quote tweeted this, or I answered underneath, and I was like, don't worry, I'll fucking trash Dave Meltzer. You know, I'll never stop after this. Hashtag fuck Dave Meltzer. And then Hughezy underneath, who was on the show earlier, goes, finally, someone else in wrestling podcasting is using the word cunt. Why did it take so long? I guess they just aren't as colorful and YouTube bans. Oh, well, great. We said it about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times during the show, Hughezy included. So get your super chats in. This is a non-monetization cast. But yeah, 10. Dutch and Vincent beat JD Drake in beef. Dutch pinned Drake after a bionic elbow. Dutch and Vincent also had a bull rope, so they're probably facing Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara soon in a bull rope match. The crowd into a beef. Dutch made fun of Dusty Rhodes doing the flip, flop, and fly. Dusty Rhodes and Guevara ran in and chased them away. Billy Starks pinned Lady Frost. So they just talked about Dutch and Vincent. Like, he won't even respond to Dutch being like, dude, I'll slap you or whatever. You know what I mean? It's never over till we say it's over. But yeah. Meltzer just a fucking putz and won't respond. So, dummy, I don't know. Meltzer said, yeah, you know, from Heel Uzi. Shout out Heel Uzi. Meltzer says nobody who understands the English language said it did. We already read that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. So yeah, man, I don't know. Respond to Dutch. Respond to the flutes. They will never, ain't gonna keep telling you that we won't stop. Ain't gonna keep telling you that we won't stop. Ain't gonna keep telling you that we won't stop. You know what I mean? So earlier in the show, we talked about this with Hughezy, and we're talking about it again here a little more. You know, here is our sicko segment, by the way, of the week. We've had a couple of sickos.
Can never escape them.
Yeah, can never escape them. And so Awful Wrestling said that Tony's other platform post got 666 likes. Dynamite averaged 666K viewers this week. And then he said, yeah, AEW fans have an average of 6.66 teeth. Something is up, folks. And I don't know, man. He's just bringing up like key demos and shit. He's not really saying the numbers because they're down. And yeah, it's funny. He's promoting to less people on Blue Sky. We're about to laugh at Blue Sky here in a minute. Even though I post my videos on there, shout out everyone following me on Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky, but
I mean, yeah, promotion. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just post my videos on there and stuff. I don't really respond or do anything else on there, but give me a follow. And yeah, he's just like basically promoting to less people. So it is what it is, man. He can do his thing. Oh, remember, do his thing. Like when Tony did his thing when Elbu was trying to give him a high five, and Tony did his thing, man. Right? Just right. Oh yeah, doing my thing. No, I think he did give him like a little pound, but he just breezed past him. Like he didn't even want to see him. So, sorry guys, a lot of this is stuff going in a video here. So, Ref MJ from NJ puts together this little graph and says the AEW consumer doom loop. Less viewership equals less attendance and other consumer behaviors that fuel the company. Product suffers due to lack of excitement and fans. AEW throws more against the wall, rinse, wash, repeat. This is how consumer brands die, and despite a shiny new 3-year TV deal, AEW is at its core a consumer brand whose values is at its ability to continue to draw and grow viewership, fans, consumers, right? And so here's like an AEW shit loop here. AEW creative and introduction of lesser known, reliance on more well-known names at WWE, throwing shit at a wall. It results in less viewership, which results in lower attendance, lower merch sales, lower pay-per-view buys, which results in TV product suffers. Criticism grows louder than the fans in the venues weekly. TV feels skippable. So then we go back to the creative that then relies on lesser known people and well-known WWE names. And it's an endless cycle. And Ref MJ from NJ, says if AEW was a public company, I would short every single share imaginable and then take out more leverage to short it again. So now Ref MJ from NJ, I'm not going to read all this this is like high level shit, and he contributed to a little bit to Thurston and them at WrestleNomics, super chatted in, I think phoned in, and they talked on the phone and everything. So check out their Twitter. They'll explain it. And yeah, I agree. I want this shit to go public. That's why I'm down when like AEW's getting sued. I'm like, dude, we need to see those contracts and shit. It's going to be like when Hulk Hogan's contract leaked from WCW. Everyone's going to go nuts. Miss October 30 for $2 says, I believe the cult will turn on each other. They already are. And we're going to cover that on this show. Like, we're going to cover that. They already are over on Blue Sky. So thank you so much for a super chat and the setup there, because we're getting to it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. You said that. That's synergy. It means we're vibing. We're vibing. Block out the bad, harness the good, or whatever, right? What does he say, Happy Gilmore? Work it. Circular. Work it. So this real Philly P, we talked about him a minute before.
Oh, God.
Phil with multiple L's because he's a walking L. Goes, for some, Hollywood is the goal. For others, being with the best in Broadway is the goal. Art versus entertainment. WWE isn't the art one in this analogy either. And yeah, no, I would say AEW is more of the shit show, freak show, circus clown entertainment show. They do goofy sports entertainment. WWE's doing much more sports-based storytelling, I would say. Way more. The Crown Jewel thing's proof of that. Yeah, I would say they give us way more stats. Yeah, I just think you're coping, dude, and you're projecting. And so Cyclops is better than Wolverine tweets out. This Phil guy is the worst of the, which I fucking disagree. Okay. This Phil guy is the worst of the worst AEW fans. There's a lot of great AEW fans, and he definitely isn't one of them. Yeah. This is why people don't like that shit, is because of motherfuckers like that. So here is Wrestling Mark 16, deleted his Twitter, is for Shirley over there on Blue Sky. Remember that, because they're all going to come crawling back. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I assure you, right? So this guy, Wes, Mercedes Monet season, whatever. AEW Dynamite November 16 on TBS, 666 viewers. We beat NXT in ratings and demo. Whatever. We beat NXT in ratings and demo. Yeah, but you got beat on your own night. So that legit doesn't matter. It legit doesn't matter. Like, this is like, yeah, you bounced back because NXT wasn't on. That difference there are people who are going to go away every time WWE runs against you. You should be worried. And then there's also that number of people who just don't even watch your shit at all. So that's not, I don't know, man. They're just taking any victory they can, and it's fine. Ride for your team, man. But Yeah,
But
it's
don't
just like
celebrate it like you fucking hit 1 million viewers again. That's the thing.
don't celebrate it like the Bucks when they ran Punk out of the company. And
don't do a victory lap on that. You know, it's like when teams celebrate like winning the first round of the playoffs and they celebrate it like they won the World Series. Like, not yet. Celebrate a little bit. Be happy. Not saying don't celebrate, but don't overdo it. There's levels.
So, Pro Wrestle Counselor posts, I thought this was against AEW Freakazoid law over there. And Team Chaos 1998 says, FYI, I won't talk ratings and attendance like I did at the other place. So X is like fucking Lord Voldemort over there. These pussies won't even say it. And he goes, don't want to hurt the vibes, but AEW Dynamite had a pretty large increase from last week, well ahead of NXT in both metrics, likely ranking in the top 5 on cable. It wasn't in the top 5. Why the fuck are you over there talking about ratings when you all took a vow of no ratings and whatever talk? But you have to, because you have to go, oh yeah, they beat NXT. No, they didn't beat them because it's on a different night, you dumb fucks. Okay? Just like when you guys say NXT didn't beat, it's different night before. You can't play this game. You can't pick and choose. It's what they always do. Good for me, not for thee. And yeah, I thought this was against your whole Blue Sky tribe, and we're starting to see them eat themselves. As Miss October 30 said earlier, right? Heel Lucy posts this. And, well, there's more actually. This isn't even the only thing, but they're already like automatically blocking accounts, probably like mine, as soon as we pop up. That's fine. They want to live in their bubbles. Let them live in bubbles. So Heel Lucy goes, look, he's posting about me again. Guess it's the only time he gets any engagement on here. And it's true. Wrestle Cringe, like they all are still on Twitter, or they just go to Blue Sky and talk about Twitter or the shit that people talked about on Twitter. And so Wrestle Cringe goes, it's actually really active and pretty cool over there. Everyone just auto-blocked you the second you showed up. And yeah, Heel Lucy, I guess, is just blocked by people. Who gives a fuck? But shout out Heel Lucy. But they're just creating a bubble within a bubble. And they'd prefer to do that. And so Scully Vibes, shout him out. He starts getting into it with some sickos. And we're going to circle back to the Blue Sky thing. It's a theme throughout this segment here, right? So Scully Wrestles says, I'm anti-AEW, but I made a suggestion that would help AEW by bringing back Kenny Omega, and this softie blocked me. So let's see here. This guy, Trisha, goes, AEW is fine, or maybe girl, goes, AEW is fine. They're telling a story with Mox taking over. Kenny literally said he doesn't want to take away spots from those who've worked for them. He said he isn't needed. And then Hendry goes, take away spot, or Hendry, I guess it's not Hendry, it's Scully, but it's his Hendry, we want Hendry account, goes, take away spots from who? Orange Cassidy? And then this guy goes, this who actually worked to be on TV. You're just an anti-AEW person. And yeah, he is, but it's true though. Like, I don't know, man. If you want AEW to be successful, you got to understand Cassidy's not the guy they're going to do it with. So yeah,
they can't stand constructive criticism.
What's that?
So they can't take constructive criticism. It's not about being an anti-AEW person. It's giving them any type of, hey, try it. This might be better. No, you're telling me I'm wrong. Oh God.
Yeah, dude, and especially like the fact that they went to it's what a cult does. We've talked about it. They separate from society. They go do their own thing. So they're in this fucking bubble. Now they're going to create a bubble within a bubble. You're going to see it in a minute here with some of this Blue Sky shit. Anyways, before we get to that though, because that's the through line here throughout this segment, Chandran the Man posted Mike Tyson with the perfect explanation of why we all love professional wrestling. And of course, we celebrate the sickos here. And so here's Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson and The Undertaker. And here is Mike Tyson explaining why people love pro wrestling.
Hey, listen, know why people love wrestling? Keeping it real, because it's a soap opera for men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we get attached to those guys, we want to know more about them. We stay in touch with them. We get mad when they lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we celebrate when they win.
Mm-hmm.
It become a connection.
For sure.
And so is fighting, by the way. But WWE, you can control the shit, you know, which makes you even more invested in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Bruno Sammartino, nigga. I was almost crying. He defended the title. He beat everybody. Don Leo, Jonathan, the Wolfman, John Tolis didn't fight him. And Peter Morales, man, he beat Moondog, man. He beat them all.
Yeah.
He beat them all. Yeah, he beat them all. Till Billy Graham took his title. He had it for 12 years already.
Yeah. Bruno had a long run as champion. It's really unheard. I mean,
saw all his defenses. Man.
Yeah.
Dan the Man Stacey, Killer Kowalski.
Yeah.
Them all his defenses.
That's a real good. Fuck yeah, dude! You see that? Mike Tyson's a real sicko.
You can see,
and
like,
not just because of
remember.
his wrestling fandom. Mike Tyson once wrestled a tiger, pal. I was there. Shout out Tyson. So Tony Khan, we covered it earlier, but we'll talk about it again for anyone who may have missed. We were with Hughezy there, and Tony Khan says responds to this sicko who responds to his shit. So Tony Khan tweets out tonight on TNT Drama, blah blah blah, the world premiere of November Rain. So we roasted it with Hughezy. They're gonna literally play a fucking 9-minute video of November Rain. Highlight video. You guys can tell me in chat how good it is or whatever. I'm watching the fights. Jim Miller's fighting right now, but Beyond the Script goes for those who like boring. And then Tony Khan goes, thank you for consistently replying within minutes of every single post I do with hilarious comments like this and then laughing at your own jokes for good measure. It's great. So responding to sickos, I'm surprised we haven't had a huge meltdown from Tony Khan yet over all this rating shit, but he can't help but respond to fucking sickos, man. Moving along here. So Libs of Blue Sky, which is one of these like Libs of TikTok, Libs of whatever the fuck, Libs of Blue Sky, right? Making fun of liberals, I guess. But in my opinion, just mentally ill people. There are a ton of them, and on either side, you can make fun of these motherfuckers, okay? So when we get cons sickos, of Blue Sky or whatever, yeah, it's in the sickos for a goddamn reason. But Blue Sky is drowning under the weight of the leftists reporting everything. 3,000 reports per hour they're fucking averaging. Now, I told you, chat, I snooped around. Phil does his due diligence for the most part, okay? I might botch reading shit on Twitter sometimes and talk shit and then have to delete it. But I do at least a little bit of snooping around before I try and bring something to the show, right? And so like Blue Sky signed up for it. I just post my videos on there. I don't really use it, but maybe I will. I don't know. You guys go and follow me if you haven't already on there. And basically I spent like a day or two kind of just like sleuthing it to kind of understand it, you know, not like a lot. I'm talking maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, 2 days in a row, you know, I guess that's 2 days worth. And I just to like see how it is, but I didn't even download the app. I just use like the browser app, you know, that's all I use. I didn't even download the app and it works fine. It actually works really smoothly and well. So basically what I noticed is it's like all the comic book fans who are like, it's toxic on Twitter are all over there. And all the people who are like, the election's toxic or whatever are over there. Yeah. And all the people who are like, wrestling's toxic are over there. And all the people who are like, NBA's toxic is over there. I like Blue Sky because there's no toxic. But what do cancel pigs do, chat? What do cancel pigs do, Alt Jake? They fucking cancel. They're pigs. They just keep canceling. They keep canceling each other. You know what I mean?
It's the reverse of Parler. Like the crazy right-wing people did the exact same thing a few years ago with Parler. It's the exact same thing, just with the crazy left-wing people. Like, and
they just don't want to hear any criticism. And fuck even left-wing. It's just like any these are the people who don't want to hear criticism. Oh, they lost the fucking election. They don't want to hear criticism. Oh, they lost their fucking don't like the toxic NBA fans, so they left. MMA, I saw it for everything. Oh, we're not going to talk about ratings here because it doesn't work in our favor.
Right,
so we're
exactly.
Go run here. It's all those people, but then what are they going to do? They're going to start doing what these people do, and they're going to start eating each other. Exactly. And it's what's happened. So Blue Sky goes at safety.bsky.app. Oh, Blue Sky's out. Like, what a dumb fucking
app. Anyways, in the past 24 hours, we have received more than 42,000 reports, an all-time high for one day. We're receiving about 3,000 reports an hour. To put that into context, in all of 2023, we received 360,000 reports.
Oh, the Karens are out.
Think about that, dude. They received 360,000 K. So like a little more than like 1,000 a day type shit. And then, right, but they're getting 3,000 an hour right now with all these fucking sicko baby back goobers running and crying and hiding over there. And now what are they doing? As soon as our accounts pop up, they report them. As soon as anyone says some real shit, they report it, but they're reporting each other. And do you want to know what they're reporting each other for? Now, I don't know what I don't, and I looked this up, dude. I trust me. We could dig it up right now. I'm not going to do this. Ain't a political show, but people are saying that the election was Ray. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like that's what like now Dems are saying that. And it was the right wing. So like, dude, I watched this shit for the last 8 years. It's been the funniest shit ever. Now we're seeing it again. It's going to continue on the other side, and they're getting banned because they're saying that shit like it's whack jobs over there. And now the whack jobs are taking out the whack jobs. And I say good. Let them all go over there. Let them get banned on every app because they're fucking out of control. And for God's sakes, like, I don't know. If you can't handle discourse, if you don't like that, you know, roasting or whatever, the mute button exists. And yeah, you can block who you don't want to interact with. And also, look at you. This is the point. Like, for anybody wondering, like, it's you guys. You guys are over there fucking now. You're
always coming from inside the house.
Yeah, and you're gonna tear each other down. And that's what my criticism is of AEW is like, you motherfuckers are destroying it from the inside out.
Yep.
This is more proof of that. Like, you all ran there, and you're all now they're getting more reports ever after all you sickos and every. And I don't know what's going on. Is Blue Sky like the liberals are secretly funding it? I don't fucking know what happened where there was just like an exodus or why people are associating it with libs or whatever the fuck. I don't care about that. What I'm telling you though is this is more proof that like, you motherfuckers are just eating everyone alive. You're just cancel pigs. Just nothing's good enough. You just need to complain. You're miserable about yourselves. And there's some deep-seated, deep-rooted weird shit. You're all on pills and shit. And you're not, not hating anyone on pills. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, like, there's a lot of the big pharma is throwing pills around. More people are on pills in America and Canada and a lot of places than ever before. So can we not? Oh, the black helicopters, InfoWars bought by the Onion. They're buying PWT next. Phil Mark's going to get taken out. But like, you guys know what I'm saying though? Like, it's the truth, dude. So these are wacky individuals and they're going to whack each other, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the extremists, like on all sides. They pick, they find something, and it's not just politics. It's also some people
it's
with
everything.
sports. Exactly, and the people that like make their. It's not even they make their personality about something. It's their entire livelihood revolves around whatever it is they've fallen into, and it's like,
and immediately, Jake, Awful Wrestling signs up. AEW Neckbeard signs up. Fucking Uzi signs up. All the accounts they're running from are coming there too, and they're extremists on one side of it as well, like on sipping the haterade of it, you know? So like it is truly like anyone who, and I don't mean extremist politically, whatever. I'm talking like just as far as like whatever subject it is. It's all of the people that want to troll you motherfuckers followed you over there, and it's yourselves, and you're gonna just eat yourselves alive. You're gonna fuck Blue Sky up, and you thought it was this big special thing. And everybody's making. I made an account over there. You guys don't want to see flutes in the chat, and I'm over there already. So it's like, you can't escape it. It's social media. It is what it is, and it's all in good fun. And if you want to be a cult and run off, I don't know, start one of those weird. Start. I don't know. Like if it was really about a new app where there's no whatever, like you'd go to Threads. Oh, there's just thirst traps on Threads. We'll wait fucking 3 months and see what happens on Blue Sky. It's going to be the same thing, man. So it's the same thing everywhere.
Yeah, it's because they're not addressing the actual problem, which is that they're freaking psychopaths.
Yeah,
Like,
you're all just triggered.
Yeah.
You can't have fucking fun.
Go
You
to
guys like to
therapy,
get in
figure it
groups and
out.
attack people, even yourselves, even each other. And that's what you're doing. You're already now getting in groups and attacking each other on this and reporting on this fucking app. Already, you're doing it to each other,
Yeah.
and it's fucking stupid. You were gonna come in and clean this app up. Yeah, we're gonna clean house. Like, no, that's not how it works, man. You guys are just fucking everything up, including yourselves, and that's what is happening to AEW. And to sum it all up, Tony Schiavone here. I think he sums it up better than anybody to end the sicko segment. Leader of the sickos, possibly after this video, but he summates this whole segment and everyone in blue sky right now. Shout out Kyle Fletcher. No, that's a bad joke. Sky Blue is her name. Everyone in blue. You guys get it. But yeah, here's Tony Schiavone to summate this all for you guys.
Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy good. Sean Kane. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy good, motherfucker. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy good. Sean Kane. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy. Lick that pussy good, motherfucker.
Dude.
Wow.
That was our sicko segment.
He got me with Schiavone there. I don't know what I was expecting, but none of that. None of that.
That was amazing, man.
That motherfucker got me. Motherfucker.
Dude, where does he even come up with that shit? It's hilarious.
I'm assuming it's a cameo that somebody gave him to do, but I don't know. Either way, I'm happy it exists. There's certain videos you go to when you need to laugh at things that you like just want to. Like, one of my favorite things in the world is it's just audio, but it's a JR talking about Cornette on a at the Canadian border, just freaking out over goddamn Dudley Do Right looking motherfuckers. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I watch that like 5-minute thing and I'll just roar laughing. That motherfucker might be in there now.
Schiavone fantasizing over Britt Baker there. Oh my god, that's the funniest shit ever, dude. That is good stuff. Chat, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank Alt Jake for being here tonight. Round of applause for Alt Jake and chat. We've been going 3 hours.
Want to be here.
Yeah, dude, I want to eat some late dinner, and I want to watch the rest of these fights. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. PWT live show Wednesday night, Dynamite. Also, look out for a run-in. I'm going to do Hired or Fired for the WWE roster next, so I want you guys to be there for that. Thank you for hanging out, all Jake. Thank you, Hughezy, for being here. Of course, Hughezy announced it here on the show. I'll be hanging out with him and Disco Inferno soon. I'll be hanging out with him and Francine, ECW's Francine, who's just on NXT soon as well. And yeah, we're gonna get smashed and talk shit. It's gonna be a fun time in Minecraft, of course. You're gonna rewatch when you get to work. Sounds good, man. I'll post the replay and I'll tweet it out. Thank you all for being here. Alt Jake, what do you got going on, man? Anything you need to plug?
Not too much, but the YouTube channel is going to be coming up soon. It's Alt Jake Takes On. I'm having a laptop, should be here Tuesday, and going to get started going. Yeah, it's right there, in the title there, Alt-Jake Takes On. The page is up. Subscribe. We will have content coming up soon. It'll be fun. Yes. You guys watch me figure it out. It'll probably start as, bare bones as it goes, but, that's what it's for. Watch me grow. It'll be fun.
Exactly. Okay, well, thanks for being here, Jake. We're going to kick it. Guys, check out me and Jake on Patreon, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. We're watching Tough Enough Season 1. We're watching Botchamanias, and I'm going to watch Total Divas, and I got a very special surprise of who I'm watching that with. You want to be a patron because you won't see it anywhere. I swear to God, like, you'll never get the shit on YouTube or anything as far as, like, who's going to be watching Total Divas with me. And actually, all Jake came up with helped me come up with the idea. So it's great shit, pal. And I can't wait to show it to you all. Thanks for being here, sickos. Love you. Hug each other. Drink water. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately. And upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos? Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight. Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We have just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. Know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point is SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me have my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You gotta run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But like, you gotta promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be like my favorite movie. Smackdown. It's so great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
To keep themselves safe.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
SDL. Two bad bitches, one hot track. B3 CCA, bitch. Two bad bitches, one hot track. Hello, hello. It's that B3 flow. You said you know me? I think you don't. My friends are rich and you're looking hella broke. With Matt, I'm a real rough rider. Can't keep up, my arms must be tired. Slow-mo, super villain, Zack Snyder. You talk shit, but I know you're a subscriber. DSL on our lips cause we're naughty. Hannah Montana acting like Miley. We can't stop cause we're the life of the party. Got your man squirming Scotty too haughty. SDL with a $sign ho. B3CCA with the 3 cause I'm cool. Face fat, ass fat, say that. Two bad bitches, one hot track. Haters on the grip, that's priceless. Haters got no pictures, that's wifeless. Diamonds in my mouth, I'm priceless. Always ready for a fight, can't try us. You thought I'm a thotty, you thought wrong. Just a hottie with a body and a thought. You wanna fight, let's get bloody like Carrie. I'm queen of the prom. SDL with a $sign ho. B3CCA with a 3 cause I'm cool. Top of the Indies, now on top of the charts. We're spending our cash and breaking your hearts. Coral. Becca and SDL, bitch. Becca, SDL, that's perfection. Me and Steph are the dream that's inception. Face tight, fast, ass, big money, stay nice. Two bad bitches, one hot track. It's two bad bitches, one hot track. Two bad bitches, one hot track.